Yeah, today is May 23rd, 2020, and I am Lori Rion, and we're in the preemptive minutes here of class, which today is about traveling through the dimensions and meeting different star family and emissaries, and really exciting kind of follow-up class with more information from what we did last week. And we're just opening up to chat right now. Before we start. Anybody? Hi, Mafalda, how are you?
Hi, fine, thank you. Glad to be here. Just a quick question regarding last session.
Yeah.
You put on I couldn't see it, but I think you put it on the slideshow, the 12 dimensions and what starseed families were, number 1 to 12.
I did.
Do you have that in terms of a PDF or something?
Yeah, I do. What you should do if you want it in a PDF form is email me,
okay.
and I'll send it back to you through email.
Excellent.
Yeah, and understand that the 1 through 12 has nothing to do with a linear order. It's just numbers to code the star family. Like 12 is not better than 1.
Okay.
We're all loved equally. It's the way Seth chose to use that particular meditation to code it for teaching, so that she's not just sitting on a little altar somewhere giving everybody all the information. She's happy to do that, but she wants you to reach into your own records, into your own memories first, and there isn't necessarily going to be a right or a wrong when you look at your history, because there could be a reality where one of you has been to every single planet and every single system, has maybe lived there even for a short period of time before you moved on. And that's going to be different for each person. But what she's trying to do is to get you to remember where you were when the starseed experiment actually happened, because those memories are prevalent to what's happening right now on the planet. And those beings that would be that particular star family very much want to connect with you. And I know that from experience. They very much want to. And it's no different than you think about where, like I explained, I think in the last class, so I lived in Nebraska. I could go back there tomorrow and I could still see old friends that would, from high school, I left in high school, but that would have, and that I went from kindergarten through high school with, and they would be happy to see me, and we'd chat and talk and about the good old days, it'd be like that.
Yeah, kind of reunited, exactly.
Right, except with Star Family, there's a little bit more going on, because you have decided to incarnate onto planet Earth, which is actually one of the biggest decisions you can make as a light being, as a star emissary yourself. So coming here is rare. It's a rare event in the cosmos. It's a coveted event. Only so many people can come here because of the density and because of the overall, I guess you'd say, mission of why we're here. I think you can all agree it is challenging to be here. It also can be very rewarding and very joyful. And, we're all doing okay, so to speak, or even better than okay. But it's certainly not the planet of lollipops, where we just lay back in our hammocks all day and talk about stardust, you know what I'm saying? This is a working planet, and we are considered ground crew. And so ground crew, like I don't know, think of like a mission to the moon. They need the other side of the team very much to make the mission successful. So that's what's going on, okay? They want to connect with you. They love you. They are your, I would say, more real family than your biological family here. So hopefully we can open your eyes to that and to tune to that, and for everyone to feel comfortable doing something maybe you haven't done for a while, or maybe have never done in this lifetime.
Yeah.
So is anybody seeing, this is Seth coming through me. Is anybody seeing differently at night now? Like in the shadows, are you starting to see movement and form and beings that maybe you wouldn't have seen before because the veil is thinning?
I'm seeing light.
Go ahead.
I'm seeing different kinds of lights.
Yeah. One of the things you probably don't realize is that for even a Pleiadian, which is a fifth dimensional being, and they're the most common brothers and sisters here on the planet and also in the starships above, for them to put their energy into something that could bring their body into a third dimensional density and appear to you, it's a huge amount of energy for them. And for all intents and purposes, it might frighten you and it'd be absolutely useless from them. So mostly they appear in some spirit form where they don't have to actually coalesce light into density and to come into a true human form, very rarely. Okay? It's like I've had a lot of Pleiadian connection over since I lived in Mexico. And so I feel very close to them. I feel real, I mean, even though I'm not Pleiadian, I feel so close to them. And a lot of the people that have helped me in my career now as a metaphysical teacher and animal communicator are Pleiadian in their physical forms. And so it was my joy to tell them that or to help them with that. But when the Pleiadians would come to my house, they'd be very tall. They'd have to duck to come in the house and then sit down so their head wouldn't go through the ceiling. But, you know, I could put my hand through them. They're still in a light body, but they had form to their light body. Beautiful souls, totally beautiful. A lot of them have this real crystal clear blue eyes, and a lot of them are just very tall and slender. So, I mean, if you have just started with connecting to Pleiadians who are have seeded all of us, we all have Pleiadian DNA, and we're going to talk about that today. I'm going to share one of the channels that's part of their creation story, and it tells a little bit of the hardship that they've endured to play that part for us, and also the joy in helping us reseed ourselves, recalibrate our DNA.
Quick question, which you might reply now or not, but just regarding the 12 seed families that were listed, there are other star families that did not necessarily come to seed planet Earth. Is that correct?
Yes, there's many benevolent races beyond the 12, absolutely. But we're focusing on the ones that made the 12-stranded human that we are today possible. And obviously they have a vested interest after giving of their own DNA to humanity. They're very interested in what we're doing with it. I mean, you don't have any better cheerleaders than these guys. They want to see you. It's like, think of your parents. I mean, I had such great parents. Maybe you did. My mom, I think, was the best mom in the whole universe. You know, she was my best friend, but she understood that I was different, you know. And when things would go really well for me, especially, you know, when I was younger and I was living at home, she would say, it's such an honor, you know, she'd say, to be your mom, because there's no way on earth I would ever know how to support you without my intuition, because you don't do things like I do them and you're not like me. You're very different, but I still love being your mom, but I don't really have any idea how to guide you because you're kind of like an old soul. You really know how to guide yourself, you know? So I step back and I say, you know, she would say guides and angels, and ask them how I can support you. And mostly they said, just love her, you know, just be there. Whatever she needs or wants, try to get that for her. And that's sort of the same philosophy I have now with Puda, even though she's in a cat body, whatever she needs. And she's got a whole team around her of people like that, that she needs something, especially before I had, you know, was as, I don't know, confident as I am now, or have the experience I have now. If she needed something, people would loved her, would get it for her, or would offer to drive us somewhere, or, you know, I mean, what I'm saying is you have support that I want you to tap into that you don't know about, and they just will do anything for you, but you have to reach out. You have to say, I'm ready. And you have to let go of the fear, because they don't want to frighten you. And if they do frighten you, they'll just absolutely melt away, you know, and they won't be back for a while until see how you're doing. It's counterproductive to create fear for us. Sorry?
I am willing, I am ready.
Okay, good. Good. All right, I'm looking at the clock, and I think everybody's, at least most of us, are in the room now. So I'm going to close up this little box. And we're getting on to the first part of every class I have, is to raise your vibration, to lift us up to where all of this becomes possible. In our normal vibration, and I'm not judging you, maybe you already have a very high vibration, you know, this kind of communication. We just really want to reach up and really lighten up and bring as much joy and confidence into our body as possible. So we'll start by opening the sacred space, and I would ask you to just go into your heart space. Take a deep breath and begin by grounding yourself down into the core of the earth. And we open to the flowing love of source energy. We ask now for the expression of source to come to us through the vibration of Mother, Father, God. And as we touch Gaia, we say thank you. Thank you for being our mother. And we bring that vibration all the way up through our feet, up our legs, into our solar plexus. Allow it to fill your body. And now up to the heart space, where it forms a beautiful ball of light and begins to grow, putting that prana flow on automatic now. Rising up from the heart, opening up the crown chakra, let's connect to the sun. The sun, of course, is the gateway or the portal for source to flow down onto our planet. We wouldn't be here without that beautiful solar light nourishing us. And allow it to come into your body and take a place next to the ball of light that Mother Earth has. There you go. And now we welcome our guides and our angels. We ask them to take a position here for the duration of this class to assist us. And we turn to the organizing principles now of the universe. And here on planet Earth, they're known as the 7 directions. So we energetically or physically, if you can, turn to the south and welcome Archangel Uriel. Perhaps you've had a grid up since the class a week ago, or perhaps this is part of your current practice, but he's here with us, offering love and compassion. And the south is open. Well, we're turning to the west now, welcoming our beautiful friend, Archangel Gabriel. And again, in my world, Gabriel is the master of communication of all languages, all telepathic and verbal and written. Could be of great assistance to you in this class. Just remember to ask for help if you're having challenge with any of the communications that want to come through. And take a deep breath. Oh, there's lots of dolphins coming in too. Hi, honey. The west is open. Now, energetically, I'm facing the north and I'm welcoming our brother, Archangel Michael. Michael is delighted to be here holding the space on the northern perimeter of our properties and is offering you a chance to take a look at your blueprint. We call it the divine life blueprint, that which you put in place when you built the body that you inhabit now. Taking a look at all those beautiful potentials, as well as all of the things you've already done. Thank you, Michael. The north is open. Now we turn to the east and we welcome Archangel Raphael. This is the direction I receive healing from. Right now we're just being blazed with beautiful green alpha light and also violet flame, beautiful purple light. So we welcome the humpback whales, we welcome Raphael and all many other healers. There's a huge presence here of Pleiadians and Arcturians, Sanat Kumara. So see yourself in a 4-sided pyramid, the 4 directions, exactly fitting down over your property or your home, your condo. Now see a 4-sided pyramid inverted down into the earth, exact copy of that, as above, so below. And we have formed the sacred octahedron, which is the sacred architecture of sacred geometry for sacred space. We drop down to the apex once more of center below. We welcome Archangel Shamuel and the beautiful elemental beings that are earth and air, fire and water, and crystal. And now the apex of center above your house. I set mine at 3.3 miles. You set yours wherever it feels comfortable. And I'm calling in Archangel Jophiel, beauty and tranquility, and I'm also calling in the white whales. And last but not least, come into your own heart. And here is Archangel Zadkiel waiting to be of assistance to you. It's wonderful with questions. If you've never just sat and talked to him, he's funny and he's obviously very informed. He's usually comes in these beautiful purple robes. And I'm also calling in now Ascended Master Saint Germain, the higher selves of all of us, Master Seth leading us, and emissaries from all of the worlds of form. You're all welcome here. We love you. And I won't take time to call them all out because we're going to meet them. So our sacred space is open and connected, and we're going into now our first meditation, which is balancing. And again, it's called the Unity Breath Meditation. So just relax. If you have your blindfold, go ahead and put it on. We'll take a few minutes to raise our vibrations.
This is a Unity Breath meditation by Lori Rion. Allow yourself to sit comfortably with your spine straight, developing a regular rhythm of breathing, turning your awareness to your heart space. Begin thinking about Mother Earth and all that she does for us. She provides life for life. She helps us all to be grounded and continually changing. She supports every being. Allow your heart to become filled with love and gratitude for all that she is and all that she does. Feeling love and gratitude for the trees, the plants, the rocks, the soil, the water, the air, and the fire. Knowing that all of these elements belong to Mother Earth as we do, she will always love us. And when your heart is so filled with love and gratitude that it can no longer be contained, with your intention, send that love directly into the heart of Mother Earth, and then wait. Wait for her to send her love back to you. She always does. She has always loved us and always will. Just allow that love to stay in your heart in a tiny ball, feeling the love of the Mother inside of you. And then turn your awareness and your consciousness to Father Sky. Father Sky is the place of infinite possibilities, the bigger picture perspective, the places, beyond our imagining. And allow your love for Father Sky to begin building in your heart more love and gratitude. Love and gratitude for the planets, the stars, the comets, the meteors, the galaxies, and the universes and dimensions beyond what we are even aware of. The limitless possibilities. And when that love and gratitude in your heart can no longer be contained in your heart space, send it with a powerful intention straight up directly through the top of your head into the heart of Father Sky. And then wait. Wait for Father Sky to send his love back to you. Because he has always loved you, and he always will. And when you receive that love, place it in a ball in your heart next to that of Mother Earth. And continue feeling that love and gratitude in your heart. Feel your unique connection with Source and life everywhere. Open yourself completely to invite in Source to enter your fields, filling you with unconditional love. As you do this, allow yourself to expand all your unconditional love and gratitude with each breath, filling your large pranosphere, larger and larger until it can no longer be contained. And when you are ready, With your intention, let your energy go as far as you can, expanding and radiating in all directions to the unlimited ends of the universe, allowing this energy to return to you, magnified, anchoring into your heart center, creating a flow that breaks all barriers of separatism and polarity. Enjoy this connection deeply and stay in this place as long as you wish.
I'm going to continue to share the screen here. Well, the first thing I'm going to do is just a short review. We do have some people in class with us today that were not a part of the first class, and of course it wasn't required. So we're going to run through a little bit of the slides that we used last week to talk just a little bit about Seth. So welcome to your galactic lineage, and of course you can take off your blindfold now. Lori and Huda, that's me. We welcome you. This workshop is an immersion into your soul transformation and evolution. Really receiving that light from the different dimensions and beautiful agents of change, you know, the agents of the different worlds that we're from. And it's absolutely time for humans to begin to live and create from our hearts. This is where the solution energy is. This is where the wisdom is. It's very important now to realize that our society has made a huge mistake by trying to live from the mind, you know, trying to live discovering what would be considered the truth by polarizing ourselves. Our mind is divided into two halves, and it will mislead you. I would say 9 out of 10 times it will not give you accurate information, and it will create a sense of unworthiness in you, of not being capable. Will talk you out of wonderful things that you're meant to do. It's really important that you relearn how to come into the heart space. And one of the great things we did last week, of course, was the heart meditation, where you could learn to drop in. You could do that 100 times a day. You could go into the arc, where you come out of the back of the head and move right into the heart chamber. And right away, the feeling in your body changes. And secondly, most important thing of the teachings of your star family and of your animals and your angels is when you return to the heart, you return again to being an emotional being. And the emotions are the guiding force. They're not only the guiding force, they're the creative force. You know, the best question you could ask yourself every 5 minutes is, how do I feel? Because that is your barometer. That's exactly where you are, is how do I feel right now? And your body will give you signs and signals. Your heart will give you signs and signals. The environment will, your family, your guides. But when we come into the mind, a lot of that's blocked, and we come into the thinking state of trying to be smart and you know, to get the answers from there. And they're not there. You can look at our society, not just this one we're living in, but look at 100 years ago, then look at 200 years ago and 300 years ago. All of them crashed and burned because it was a conquering realm, and people lived in their minds, not their hearts. So they didn't understand what the teachings are of the higher beings, including the dolphins and whales, which is to live in community, to live in the pod mind, completely transparent, where we're not hiding anything ever from anyone, and we're being completely compassionate and open, and we know that no one is loved more than another. That's where we want to be. So all of this, of course, happens through your free will, only through your free will. Can these changes in your emotional body occur? You must be in your heart, you must be connected to source, and you must be at some level now connected to the third eye, which is to run the energy from the heart up to the third eye and activate that pineal gland, because that's the crystalline organ that allows you to speak clearly to spirit, and in this case today to Star Family. It's time to remember who you are, and of course that's why this class is happening, why you came to Earth at this particular time. There's a disclaimer here from Seth, which is when you get home, you know, and you transition from this planet, however that happens, yeah, no one will ever be unhappy with you. You really can't get it wrong, okay? Whatever experiences you have, even if they're dark, will benefit you at some point, because you will have that wisdom to dwell on, you know, or comparison, I guess you would say. Sometimes we learn by doing what we're not really meant to do, and I think we can all agree with that. But I also want to say that we've come to a point where creating karma now doesn't really serve you anymore. There was lifetime after lifetime where you could do that. You could come and play on the dark side, and you could play in the middle. You could ride the fence and see how it was going to go. That's not this life. This life is everyone needs to make a permanent, focused decision on living in the heart. And come back to being who you really are, which is a pod player. You know, being part of the pod and the transparency that goes with that, where there's nothing to hide. You can be completely forgiven for anything and everything you've ever done. So, but anyway, back to what I said, is when you transition, you will be the one that will feel bad. I mean, really bad, if you don't do what you came here to do. You're the one, no one else, not the councils, not the energy of what you call God or Gaia. They're going to love you eternally, unconditionally, just for coming. Okay, but you are the one that you will have to deal with. You're the one, I know, because I had a near-death experience. You're the one that will relive every single thought, every single deed. So it's worth it, you know? It's really worth it to retrain yourself to just be a love being. Time to remember that life is a choice and you are the creator. Okay? Seth always says to me, you know, other planets don't have this kind of free will. Okay, it's really an honor. We have two gifts here. One of them is linear time, and the other is free will. We all get the 24-hour day, and we all get a chance to do whatever we want to do with that, how we want to be in our emotional body. It's up to us. So this is well worth saying. Okay, let's do that together. What I think and what I feel, I bring into form. I am a conscious creator. What I think, what I feel, I bring into form. I am a conscious creator. Awesome. All right, now would you guys please mute your rooms just for the recording. And now take that into your heart and just really feel it. Really feel the law of attraction working for you. Okay. Last week I told the story of I went to a concert a few years ago. Puda was pretty small. She's 12 now in this body. I think she was about 2. And I went with a good friend to hear Jonathan Goldman. And Puda loved the music. And we were sitting together with my friend who brought one of her friends who I'd never met. And she was an artist. And she was just mesmerized with Puda. And at the end of the concert, she said, I would really love it if you'd send me a picture of her so I can see her face. And I'd love to do a soul portrait on her. And so I said, sure. And this is what she sent me. So kind of cool. And again, if everyone would please mute your room. We're getting some background noise. She says, I am a catalyst for the creation of a higher vibration. I bring love whenever that intention or desire is allowed for in my presence. I am an ascension guide. I am Master Cat Puda. I am Seth. And Seth, again, is the name of the Oversoul, which we can talk about here. If you have the Keys of Enoch, page 273, look down here with the red letters and the blue arrow. That is Seth. And then the soul diagrams go like this, up and around, all the way. And you'll see all of the great leaders in there, all of the great souls, Buddha and Jesus and Paramahansa Yogananda, they're all in there. So when she told me, way back when she was Pootie, before I even had really started my spiritual awakening, she said, I'm very old. And I said, and you mean in the way the universe was created? And she said, yes. I said, I'm very old. I even helped the Pleiadians get started. I'm like, really? And I said, how would you do that? And she said, I was working directly in the throne room with God. And I was given different missions. And I said, so you haven't always been a cat? And he said, no. So the Sethian system, according to the Nag Hammadi manuscripts, the Nag Hammadi library, a collection of 13 ancient books called codices, containing over 50 texts was discovered in Upper Egypt in 1945. This immensely important discovery includes a large number of primary Gnostic Gospels. These are texts that were thought to have been entirely destroyed during the early Christian struggle to define orthodoxy. They certainly tried to. And there is the Gospel of Seth. It's well worth looking up, as well as the Gospel of Thomas, the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, even the Gospel of Lazarus. And there's also Gospels from the females. So it wasn't just the men that channeled and left the scripts behind. It's amazing, and quite a bit different than you might imagine than the Bible is, because the Bible is, although it's a wonderful book, it's been edited and edited and edited. And of course, the information of us being conscious creators and to take our power back is all about Seth's teachings. And the Vatican and other groups, of course, didn't want that information out into the world. They wanted us to be controlled, and they still do. Well, some things don't change. The system is founded upon what we must understand as the fundamental teachings of Sethianism, the belief that these Gnostics, that they were the seed of Seth, that is the physical and at the same time pneumatic spiritual posterity of Seth. As children of Seth, they are saved by nature. And of course, this is the teaching of Seth, is that we must connect to the earth and we must connect to source light through the sun in order to balance ourselves and to be healthy and happy. The only beings that really, that I've met in this lifetime that really know that, I mean, they're raised with it, are the Native Americans and the Polynesians. Now, I'm not saying they're the only ones, I'm saying the only ones that I know of. So I'm doing everything I can do to spread the good news that if we connect to the earth, to nature, we connect to God through the sun, you're going to be really healthy and happy. So the concept of the heavenly earth, earthly heaven Seth as the Gnostic Redeemer is especially clear in the Gospel of the Egyptians. Seth had a lot of lives in Egypt, so did I. This Sethian teachings, however, can also appear in such a form that the real Redeemer is the heavenly earthly son of Adam, who is Seth. So that being was a very powerful star being and is of the same soul. So interesting stuff. We could do lots of classes on the Akash. So, but here's where it came into our time frame, as to where Jane Roberts channeled the soul of Seth. And this is what is taken from the book, which is very much like what it's like for me to live with Buddha. You are given the gifts of the gods. You create your own reality according to your beliefs. Yours is the creative energy that makes your world. There are no limitations to the self. Get that? No limitations to the self except those you believe in. You create your life through the inner power of your being, whose source is within you, yet beyond the selves that you know. The source of creativity springs from your own inner-identity, which is never completely materialized in flesh. And so you always have unused portions of your creativity at your command. What Seth is speaking of there is the soul. The soul is the larger part of you, the eternal part of you, and is, we don't really know, but we're going to say maybe 70% of your totality, maybe 60%. So we want to do everything we can do with our free will as humans to merge with our soul, to stay connected to the soul, and that can only happen through the heart. So people always ask about why Seth has incarnated as a cat, and well, part of it's because she's Lyran, and she wanted to bring the Lyran teachings here about really everything that you see, everything that you touch is an illusion, and we don't really know that here on Earth yet. It's all part of the holographic nature of our conscious creation or our unconscious creation. But when we lived in Egypt, most of us knew that. That was a very highly evolved fifth dimensional community until it fell. And she did embody the energy of Bast, which was one of the great cat human teachers. So, and also I think in this lifetime for me, it's really important that people start to understand that animals are these great teachers, okay? Great healers and teachers, perhaps the most important ones, because they don't have karma. They come in with purpose as stewards for humanity, stewards for, look at your dog or your cat and realize that being made a contract to be with you. And they searched far and wide to get here. Sometimes it's hard for an animal to find you because we don't speak the same language, but they do it. They absolutely do it. And they come in to help us. So it's time for people to get that knowledge and to realize that if you were sick and then you got well sort of unexpectedly, or, your doctor said it's going to go one way and then, you got better, it's probably due to your cat or your dog or your horse. They probably did that for you. And then often they'll pass afterwards, taking that off the grid. Not always, but sometimes. Very important to see deeper into who they are. and to reach out and communicate with them. Wow, what a great day when we break through to talk to our own family, our own animals. And this, I thought, was a great slide. Science is starting to just get a little bit of what cats really do. When I was in veterinary school, let's see, when was that? That was the late 70s, early 80s. They were studying the purr. They couldn't figure it out. Hmm, interesting. Bone health, blood pressure, wounds. How many like to pet a purring cat? I sure do. 40% less risk of heart attacks. Unbelievable. Anyway, I have 2 cats, so I often have them laying on my body, and I'm not exactly always sure what they're doing, but I'm grateful. So Puna has taken it upon herself to start to work in the physical world. As this has really been going on for, I'm going to say 11 years now. She was pretty little when she started. When I'm working on a client, either here at the house or long distance or at a conference like this, she just jumps up right up on the body. I always give her a little TV tray or a little table to get on there so she's not forced to. When the person's lying down, though, she's usually making a flying leap for their lap. She absolutely loves working on people in the physical, adores it. So if you end up doing a healing session with us, you can expect that. This guy was in Canada, and he was very sick when he arrived at the conference. It was a cryon conference, and he ended up getting an appointment. And afterwards, I started to pick her up to put her there on the TV tray. And she said, "Give us a moment. We were married." It was intimate. She'd been human. Kind of fun. Old friends. So this is our crystal skull, Altazar, and this is Puda's big brother, Samuel. Samuel is also a great healer, but he doesn't travel, so he doesn't get the limelight as much as she does. But they love each other very much, and he's a huge grounding force for both of us. Like today, when we go to star travel, he'll lay here on the floor and help keep us grounded. And he's just a year older than her. So Puda is the only cat I know that wanted to make a movie. So I think we started in 2012. We finished in 2015 making this film, Ascension Guidance, Living in Your Sacred Heart. And it's available on DVD. You can purchase it on our website, or you can just email me and I'll send it to you for free in a digital form. It's a step-by-step tour of how to raise your vibration. First film ever created by a master cat that shares her wisdom with the world about consciousness and the next step in our evolution as humans. Master Puda was is the voice of the Ascension teacher. She uses my voice, but it's her talking. I let her have this special project, and we had about 65 people work on the film for about 3 years. Most everybody donated their time, so we could bring it forth. So if you haven't seen it, I hope you'll take the time to get it and watch it. It's really beautiful. Here was the night our premiere in the Carlsbad Village Theater. That's the movie theater in the community next to where I live. We had red carpet and everything. It was really fun. And after the movie, she got to go up and sit on the stage in a little chair and answer questions. You know, it was just great. She's totally a ham bone. She loves to be up on the stage like that. So. One of the things I think I'll always remember is when we were rehearsing, we were showing the film on the big screen the day before. And she was there in the theater with me. And the look on her face when she saw herself up on that big screen, I'll never forget it. She was like, wow, look how big I am. Really fun. We also do a lot of radio shows. She likes to get right up by the microphone, so she's, giving that illusion, of course, that it's actually her voice. It's really my voice speaking for her, but I'm telepathic, so I do my best to answer questions from her perspective, or Seth's perspective. Recently, we were on Voices of Courage. This is a big mainstream radio station that's all over North America with Ken Foster. There we are in the studio. And it's podcast too, which is kind of cool. But it's pretty conservative. It was the first time we'd done a conservative show. I don't know what people thought. It's probably took some of them over the moon. Okay, so into the teachings now. First, make peace with where you are. It's one of the greatest things I think she's ever said. He, she, Seth. Acknowledge that you created every single particle of your life right now. Everything you've ever said or done, it's yours. You created it. It belongs to you. Now make peace with it. Stop hating it. Stop resisting it. Stop saying you made a mistake. Because from that place, you can begin again. You can use your intentions and prayers to release anything that you don't like about what you've created and ask for help and begin anew, manifesting from a different place. But if you try to manifest without clearing where the resistance that you might have to this particular moment, it doesn't work so well. It's about conscious creation. Okay, so that's a little bit about Seth. Hope you enjoyed that. And the next thing is we're going to go into the second major channel that she gave us when we started doing this galactic work, star family work a few years ago. So if I was you, I'd probably put my blindfold on and just sit back. But then again, you might get triggered to write something down, or you have a question. So then have a pad next to the journal, so you can take your blindfold off and write down questions or comments that come through that trigger truth for you. But if I was you, I think I'd start with that. It's probably going to be about 10 minutes. I'm going to share it, and then we'll come back and have some more discussion. And this is following what you already heard in the first class and the journey to Antares, and you already know about the starseed experiment. So this is following up on that with more information. Okay, everybody ready? Here we go. It is an unprecedented time to be alive on planet Earth as we enter into the new millennium. So much information is available to you now that has been held secret or dormant over the centuries of existence. Feel the power of the words as I say, we have arrived. We are starseed. We are about to turn the key and walk through to the higher dimensions. I am sure you have heard that we are the ones we have been waiting for. I agree. And this is the lifetime that you have waited for, my friends. I am Seth, and my advice at this time is to quite simply use your time and energy to simply tune into a higher frequency, another station, so to speak. This is simple and a natural process and ability for you. You would be not taking this class or listening to this message if you did not know in your hearts that the animals naturally tune into these frequencies I speak of. We receive our communications from Source, non-verbally. You, as humans, are capable of receiving and transmitting vibrations on many levels and using this information effectively. It is my intention at this time to remind you that it is your birthright to communicate with beings on other planes of consciousness, in other dimensions, and with those in service to you as a human. It has been a wondrous journey, serving here and learning. Know that you have been in the presence of many multidimensional teachers and beings of great compassion and wisdom. Our classes and our time together is a, quote, wake-up call for all of you, delivered by one who would encourage you to be daring now, courageous, and to please step out of the mold of convention. It is time for seekers to find. It is time to reclaim the power and the light within you. Let yourself believe in your pure potentiality, in the pure possibility of equations that you cannot yet imagine. This is the time to try on new ideas, to express your freedom. In challenging your convictions and the third dimensional way of life, you widen your horizons and you open the doors of your true potential. It is time to plunge deep into the memory of your future. Your third dimensional society has deemed you emotionally incapable of dealing with extraplanetary life and the implication of alien intervention on Earth. But those that would create a barrier or a block in their hearts and minds do not yet remember that they are starseed. You are becoming empowered now with an expanding awareness of how your souls twinkle in the night skies. You yearn to remember your connection to the stars that you see in the heavens and how glorious your true birthright is in physical reality. You are each sparks from the flame of creation, fragments of the absolute, choosing to exercise free will in your descent into matter and form. But each of you gods and goddesses in your own right. As conscious beings, you experience and learn the alchemy of transcending matter and returning to spirit, the true purpose of the ascent along the evolutionary spiral towards illumination and truth. However long the journey is for each of you, you are remembering that you are the creators and the co-creators of this world, and you are joining together now to return to the one energy of Source. In our teachings and in our meditations and practices, we remind you in every possible way that the return to a spirit awareness in your life, a spirit awareness creates a place of clarity regarding the question of how to live in balance and in the center of your beingness. Every body must come to an understanding of the dark and the light that is within each of us. The yin-yang balance, which we call the balancing of the masculine and the feminine energies. Returning to this place of balance and acceptance is important, as you will recognize the creation in the chaos, and you will choose neutrality. The emergence of a master is one who understands that the darkness within the light is part of the repeating cycle of the third dimension and of duality. As you choose to release the fears, which are always the opposite of love, you return to your connection, to the crystalline grid, and to the web of light. Together now with the awakened galactic family, you will experience firsthand the absolute perfection of creation unfolding, the divine explosion and expansion of consciousness, and truly embrace the privilege that it is to be a human incarnated upon planet Earth right here, right now, today. As we come to center, to balance, it will become second nature to correctly run the energy through your body's circuitry and operating systems. Humankind is destined to experience a vibrational surge of such intensity that there'll be no comparison. The force of the energy coming to your planet now and rolling through each of you will make you feel at times that you are absolutely losing touch with yourself. And in a very positive sense, you are doing exactly that. As you are shedding your stance of the third dimensional life, leaving the illusion behind, being reborn into a fifth dimensional Earth race of men and women. Congratulations. Understand that each day you have the choice to buy into the holographic story of chaos and pain that many are creating, or to make the choice to return to the heart and begin to breathe in unity and create center. The question is, do you believe it is possible to live in peace and harmony and health while others around you choose war, fighting, poverty, and ill health? There is no better time than the present to move into mastery and to become the example that you are seeking. There is no better time than now to prove to yourself beyond a shadow of a doubt that you are the creator of your own experience by observing what you create every day based on your vibration. The process of liberation involves choosing again. Take note of that which you do not like. Take note of that which you don't agree with. I have always said that a large part of living on earth in happiness is reflected in knowing what you do not want, so that you don't continue to recreate that. Before the higher dimensional keys can be activated within you, you must clear your fields and release as much as possible of the accumulation of poisons and toxins and disturbances from your mental and emotional and physical bodies. When this is done, your receptive capacities are enhanced. Your pineal or third eye will begin to work well, and you can begin to integrate and use the solar energy that is coming to you and the earth. Mother Earth, the being you know as Gaia, has entered the next vibrational phase of her evolution. As she spirals into her ascension energies on her path to become a fifth dimensional star again, you have the opportunity to light up with her, or to literally blow your fuses and make your plans to leave this earth. There is no more time to hide or pretend that you can heal yourself at a later date. The time is now to make the vibrational shifts that are necessary to begin to live the truth of who you really are. We have entered into the vibration of the new earth, and the process of the earth changes are significant during this phase of alteration and change. Much information is being revealed to humanity through spirit, regardless of the work that is to be undertaken to clear your bodies of illness, toxins, parasitic entities, negative thought forms, and energy blocks that you are carrying within you. You must set your intention now for this process to ignite and initiate. The time is returned to the holistic method is now. It is time to tune and tone your entire being back into consciousness from the physical, the mental, the spiritual, and turn to the higher realms of soul connection. Beloved humans, you are so fortunate now to have many trained lightworkers and healers in body now, serving as catalysts for you. And for those that are ready, the animal healers are being remembered and revealed as well. The animal beings on your planet have always been the greater body of healers and teachers, and it is our honor and our greatest desire to work with you from a place of consciousness. In our world, my human mother, Rian, has discovered the vast and untapped resources of the cetaceans on our planet. The dolphins and whales share the same DNA structure that humans have, and this is quantum. They hold the vibration and have the ability to tap into your multidimensional abilities. The cetaceans can align and recalibrate the human body if asked. They are super sentient in their physical forms, and they have held the vibrations of love and bliss for millions of years on your planet. They have the ability to look into your Akashic records through the water molecules in your oceans. This is the record of your soul's journey. Much more will be said about their great power and amazing healing abilities during our time together. I encourage you to bring their consciousness into your daily lives and ask to remember who they really are and how they can help you raise your vibration and heal your body. In this world, they emanate from the Sirian system, as many of you do also. Among the humans, there are many genuine light workers offering powerful healing modalities. To recognize those among you that would serve your highest good, ponder these simple questions before you allow them into your energy fields. Do they empower you to heal yourself? Or would they have you follow their doctrines and worship at their temples? Do they encourage your self-discovery and awareness, directing you inward? Or are they pointing the way, pushing you down the path of their form of illumination? Do they honor your power, or do they take it from you? True healing is a gift from one to another, and is simply loving ability to channel the light of the divine. Those who love unconditionally are those who have been chosen to serve others from this place, because they are examples of humans who have chosen to live and create from their hearts. They will tell you that the light of healing does not initiate with them, for they are merely here to serve as a vehicle of spirit. True healers are those who have come to assist other humans in this time of transition and wish to empower you to find your own truth. Seek those that have come to help you back to your center as you learn to trust your intuition and turn up your own vibration. Seek those that would assist you in opening your ability to channel and allow the light of the divine to flow through you. Remember the simple process of opening to breathe prana and direct the energy of this prana to the places in your body where you hold trapped pain and memories. Are you ready to examine and release your trapped pain? Understand that only when you are truly ready will healing occur. You alone set the stage for your own awakening, as you are the master of your vibration, and therefore the state of your health and well-being. You are your own best healer, and no one else can do it for you. They can only assist. However, by opening to run divine prana into your body and moving consciously into the heart, you naturally choose a happy and vibrant attitude. This is the natural process of healing, an alignment that we refer to as triangulation. This process moves you out of the linear time frame, out of duality, into the truth of your creation and your essence. You were created with a mother and a father energy, or consciousness through the vehicle of your soul. This state of being allows you to receive infusions of healing light and energy from a place of presence and wisdom. In this vibration of triangulation, you understand that all healing must start with permission from within you. More and more information is being made available to you now, revealing how the actual star seed experiment was brought forth and integrated into the DNA of the human choosing to live upon planet Earth. After the fall from grace, when the human living upon the Earth was destranded in their DNA, the call went forth from Prime Creator to the 12-dimensional worlds of form, for each society to choose to offer of their DNA to reseed the human being. From my perspective, this act of consciousness and giving is the greatest experiment the universe has ever witnessed. The pure potentiality of having the opportunity to incarnate into a third-dimensional planet known as Earth, knowing that the wisdom of 12 different evolved planetary civilizations and all of their wisdom is coded right into every subatomic particle of my being. The collective intelligence of the group's Akashic records is available to every human upon the Earth through their DNA. As you come into balance and unity with the truth of these teachings, we ask that you accept that what you feel is true. We ask that you perceive a possible reality beyond what you have previously imagined. We ask at the end of each day you ponder if your belief system has expanded, altered, and changed in some way. We ask that as you become human, you become a forerunner for the others, opening to new ideas and an increased understanding with new vision. We ask that you surrender the analytical process, the thinking, and open your hearts to clear your cluttered minds. Beloved ones, the human race is a brainchild of many stellar beings who took part in the inception of you, of who you are, and of who you are to become. In part, this message is to reintroduce you to your own family, your family in the stars. Your distant relatives span the infinite expanse of this galaxy and even into the cosmos. This is why it is so important for you to solve the DNA riddle and claim your star brothers and sisters as your true ancestors. You truly are a human species unto your own. The Galactic Federation, representing elders from each of the star systems and dimensions, sent their finest light emissaries to starseed and create the new galactic human. Never was there a more celebrated victory than the seeding of Gaia and the successful genetic splicing of the 12-dimensional worlds of form into each person's DNA. Understand that the emissaries of light from these many galaxies were united in their effort, and your planet became in many ways the center of our universe. All eyes are upon you, the emerging super race of human beings. As free will beings, you came in to create your own experience, to make your own choices, and to know the focus of dedicating yourself to an ideal. Quite simply, you came to this third dimension as a representative of one or more of the starseed races that we have spoken of. Quite simply, you came to immerse yourself in the cycle of life and death and reincarnation until the work is complete. When you can truly remember and embrace the truth that you are form and matter, sparked with the crystalline energy of Prime Creator, you will know the importance of the remembrance of the process of returning to light. The universe and all of the beings that are your star brothers and sisters are watching and waiting for you to take the evolutionary leap, which moves you closer to the realization of their vision. This is your legacy. For as evolving souls who have committed to the third dimension, committed to be here on the earth right now, you have chosen to take part in the ascension of an entire solar family. Whatever personal experiences you have been focused on until now, you will find yourself shifting consciousness to a more galactic awareness of your personal purpose for reincarnating upon the earth as you exist right here now. You are a part of an elite group of beings, those fortunate ones who have directly participated in celestial ascension. You are among the residents of planets who are all in the process of transmuting a physical body, a form, back into a light body. These are amongst the rarest of events in the universe. They are exceptional moments in the all-time. You, beloved humans, are awakening, and your beloved brothers and sisters are all a part of it. My hope and prayer is that you recognize the awakening spirit within you, and you become a free will thinker and doer, one who is unafraid to stand against convention. One will stand and speak universal truths. Claim your heritage, which is the light of absolute power burning inside of you. If you have come to these classes and teachings, you are most surely well on your way into this transition. My message is intended to touch those of you who have begun to lift the veil and rediscover the bright light of creation within your soul. The reorganization of your DNA is the essence of your individual transmutation into a light body, a process which can be accelerated by your conscious efforts to clear all toxicity of mind, spirit, and body, and heal your broken pieces. Feel the love and support that we all have for you. You are mutating into your light self, about to integrate the brilliance of light, which has lain dormant and hidden for over 100,000 years. The reward for your hundreds, and some of you thousands of Earth lifetimes, is coming into manifestation. As you quicken your vibration to the new frequencies coming to the planet, you are accelerating the creation of light body within you. You are restructuring your genetic grid. You will radiate as a beacon for those who, like you, have also begun the transmutational process. This is an aspect of your attraction to each other and to your soul family, to unification, to the great dolphins and whales, all which brighten the light of Gaia. As individual units committed to service, you are anchoring the cosmic energies within you, and then beaming them out across the matrix of the crystalline grid, furthering this process for others. This is evolution at its finest, in its purest sense, where everything and you is a state of becoming brighter as we journey together to return to Source. I am Seth. So open up the gallery. Take a couple minutes to come back. You don't get to hear that every day. At least not in my world. Very honored I get to be the voice for that type of panel. Never ceases to lift me up, to remind me there's more. Come on in. Master Put is singing. Why don't you come in here and sing? Come on. Everyone would like to see your face. I'm going to bring up the 12 worlds of form so that people can look at them again. And kind of reflect on what happened last week and how you're feeling about all that. And I'm going to go pick her up and I'll be right back. Go ahead and tune into this. to sing your song? Should we sing? Girl. Settling in. All right, let's open up the gallery and see how everyone's feeling. It's a good time for a question or comment if you have one. And if not, it's okay. We're going to keep going. There's more. Y'all look happy.
I just really like what you said about the crystal. Like there was a sentence that was so beautiful, that we're part of the source. Going back to it was just really beautiful what that said.
Thank you. Something, how do we connect? I'm not sure what you mean connect. You would be connected if we're talking. Whoever just asked that question, let me open up the chat room.
Lori, this is Ann.
Hi.
I did the replay and everyone was talking like the stargates they went through and their numbers, and you were just kind of confirming some things.
Right. Okay. And I have yours here.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a few people that are in class today that weren't in class last week. So you're Ann Connolly.
Yes.
Okay. You are Pleiadian with also Arcturian star family 1 and 3.
And it was interesting because the Stargate, I mean, it was just like I got sucked right through the center one.
Right.
And I don't remember hardly anything after going through the Stargate. I was gone.
Well, the good news is you can always listen again.
Yeah, well, it was
your soul is just so much information that you just kind of have to shut down, you know. That happens a lot when I work with the whales and then come back. And I have a good friend who was around when I first brought these channels in, and we were fine tuning it. And I think she's done, you know, maybe 6 or 8 times. And she says every time it's deeper. Every time I remember more, every time, you know. So I don't know. I don't think this is a one-time thing. So, but you know, you follow your heart on that, you know.
Well, the Arcturian, so is that kind of like where I was? That was another place I'd been. I'm Pleiadian, is that?
You're most recently Pleiadian, and prior to that you were Arcturian. And the next part of the class is all about that, so it'll help you open up to them.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're going to go into each of these worlds, so you can meet an emissary and experience it. So, anybody else?
I know I've done this a couple of times with you before. I don't know.
Hi, Linda.
Hi. I'm not sure that I can remember exactly which ones.
You are Syrian, my dear, and you have
Syrian.
worked closely with the whales.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense.
Is number 2, and then before that you and you still connect to the Orion system. You're sort of an ambassador for them on the Sirius B.
Oh, yeah, Sirius B. Yeah. I did get Alpha Centauri one time, I think, or on Andromedan when we did the class before.
Yeah, well, you may have spent some time there too, but looking at like the metaphor of someone who's lived in 6 or 7 states, we want to move into what is most current for you.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
So the most current for me is Syrian.
Yeah, there's actually aspects of you that live there now.
Okay, yeah.
Well, working
with that. Yeah. Okay,
yeah.
Thanks.
Sure.
Lori,
Okay. Yeah.
I was unable to make it last class as well. Do you have mine written down?
I do. Jennifer Ashley, right?
Yep.
You are Arcturian,
Uh-huh.
and prior to that, you come from a different universe. So you're a cosmic archangel in the sense of your very, very old family. You come from the Dahl universe, DAHL, but for now, you should focus on Arcturian.
Okay. Thank you.
Old being. Sorry about that. That didn't sound very complimentary, but I meant it that way.
Actually, at my current age, no, it doesn't sound complimentary to my ego, but I'll be okay.
Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Lori, it's
Oh.
Mary Ellen.
Mary Ellen. Okay.
Never mind.
Mary Ellen, you are elemental. And you come also from a cosmic archangelic realm. The elementals are sparks, the elementals are earth and air, fire and water, living in hollow earth, and of course, sometimes on the land with the divas. Such an important role, but you ultimately emanate from a different universe in the cosmic realms as well. So thanks for coming and being an elemental.
You're giving me chills. Yeah, I work
It
well
should
with
give you
elementals.
chills, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, if this stuff doesn't resonate for you, Seth's main teaching, and mine too, is never believe anything anyone else says if it doesn't resonate for you. Walk away, I'm
Right.
serious. And I obviously fully believe all of this and I live it and breathe it. But that doesn't mean you have to. If you come to integrate what I'm saying through Seth today and through my own experiences, it's because it's your experience too. You have to feel it, okay? And if you can't feel it today, then keep pursuing it until you can, because sometimes the mind will continue to clutter you and get in the way. If you've never shut down your mind and trusted to go into your heart, that might take a little process for you. And then you can start to feel again. And often, because I work so much in the healing realms with people with the whales, they'll just cry. They'll just cry and cry and cry. And that's okay, because they blocked all of that feeling for so long. It needs to come out and be dispersed, The first time I went to a cry-on event, I told that in the last classes when I took Pruta 1 and she chanted, take me to cry-on. When the channel came, I cried. She was totally soaked. I mean, I couldn't stop crying. I never felt home like that I feel like when I'm with them. I still have that. I still sometimes cry. It's like they're totally my family. Cry on, Rion. We're all in the On Academy. We're from Orion in the origin of this galaxy. And there's so much my family. The poor little cat was soaking wet with tears. So. So if you have that big feeling that wants to come out, let it out, okay? Even if you have to go in your room, if you're too embarrassed to cry in front of other people. Crying is good. It's healing and it's releasing. Lynn.
Yes, I just wanted to mention that I went over the first family, and I really went slowly, and it changed everything. And today, when we started to go through the last part with Seth, and it was just my brain just kind of like wanted to explode.
Fireworks.
Yeah, it's like, okay, we're going now. So
I so appreciate you. I know Lynn pretty well. We've done some traveling together and we've been roommates, and there's nothing like sharing a room with the Pleiadian. They're so loving. Big heart, I love you. I really do.
yeah,
I love all of you, but I mean, I especially love you because I know you,
yeah, we've spent some time.
Very good example of a Pleiadian. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Lori.
Ama? Prima?
Yeah, I missed the last two star seed races because the screen share cut them off.
Oh.
Can you tell me what they were?
Yeah, I'm going to do it again.
Real.
Yeah.
That's it.
Thanks for telling me that.
That's okay. And do you? I wasn't here last week. I couldn't manage to do it last week. Are you doing numbers for people who are just here this week?
Seth is confirming whatever Seth is confirming, which is Seth's belief of looking at your Akashic records.
Right.
So you are, what's the name you use when you register?
Amaprama. Oh, the money one, is it? You mean?
Well, the names are taken from PayPal when you registered.
Sue O'Donnell.
Sue.
Yeah.
Thank you, because I didn't see that name there. Sue. Okay, you're from Orion,
Right.
but you've really enjoyed embodying, the cetacean race. You've joined the dolphins and whales and multiple times, even in other worlds, they're saying. So does that resonate for you?
Yeah, definitely those two.
Yeah, and we're going to find out more. I mean, it might resonate more at the end of the class.
Sure.
I'm going to talk more about the races. We did a little bit in the first channel. So if you want to go back and hear that, you'll hear some about each of the races. You're going to hear a lot more today. Anybody else before we go on? Okay, Debbie?
Lori, I was Arcturian, and I think it was number 1. Pleiadian,
Carter.
2 or
You are Arcturian, and you also have Alpha Centauri energy.
Okay.
But everyone carries Pleiadian. Remember, everybody, I don't know what the percentage of us, but we all have Pleiadian DNA. That's from a previous starseed experiment. And
Okay.
that'll be part of the end of our class today, is where they talk about when they got permission to seed us. And if you study Cryon talks a lot about how the Pleiadians seeded us. Okay. So if you feel Pleiadian, it's because you are. But some are full-blown Pleiadian, you know what I mean? They've always been there.
Right.
Like
Oh, always been there. And
well, I mean, they're embodying as a Pleiadian. They're not, they didn't come from somewhere else.
okay. So is there an origin of your soul from like a first place that you were?
Yeah, you were with God. You were of the light, source.
Well, yeah, I mean, once you're whatever.
Okay, and then when you leave source, yes, the Lyran system. Your first lifetime is always in the Lyran system.
Okay, and so what we're doing today is sort of picking some of the places we've been throughout
Well,
our.
it's supposed to be a history lesson of where you have lived and been, where your family is.
Okay. But it may not be a complete one.
What does complete mean?
Like all the places you've been.
Oh, yeah. Well, you've probably, if you looked at your Akashic records, you've probably lived far beyond this galaxy, maybe billions of years. But what we're trying to do is get people to connect to the most recent place when the starseed experiment happened. That was about 200,000 years ago. Because that family wants to connect with you right now to help you in this lifetime.
Yes.
So a family that you lived with in another universe, a billion years ago, is not so connected to Earth as that family would be. You see?
Oh, right.
And
Okay, I see.
the beings that gave of their own DNA have continued to watch us and to help us and want to help us even more. They have a vested interest. They gave of their own bodies in co-creating.
So that's way more relevant.
I think.
Yeah. So, but when we're human and we're in this experiment, we were Arcturian before we came to this experiment.
Yeah, that's what Seth is saying. You were Arcturian.
And then, but then we've had many, many lives as a human with this experiment.
Right, but as an Arcturian. So you would be an Arcturian that chose to come into human form.
Okay, so so I'm an Arcturian that came into human form.
Mm-hmm. Well, with some other lineage behind you, like Alpha Centauri, and prior to that, you would have been a Lyran, and before that, you would have probably been with Source.
Oh.
But
okay.
humanity is not going to be, at least as far as I understand it, the lineage of humanity will end when Earth ascends. This is an experiment. You're all camping here. We're not a long-term race that's going to go on and on and on. We're all embodying a costume here that's not relevant. I mean, I shouldn't say it's relevant. It is relevant, but it's not a reality. We're even in a hologram. So, the hologram is illusionary. Okay, is that helpful?
Yeah, I know. I know the hologram is crazy.
Yeah,
I always flip.
But humanity is not a race that's going to seed other races, or they probably will continue after the experiment is complete and the Earth ascends.
Oh, but so when you said certain of these races gave DNA, that means that the persons from Arcturus came and embodied a human because.
No, I'm saying that's where you lived before you came here. You lived in on that planet. And you know what? I'm being corrected right now of what I just said. So let me make a disclaimer of what I just said. Is that I said humanity will not continue. We're just saying that's not true. Humanity will continue as the awakening, golden child that we talked about. Humanity will become the 12-stranded DNA human, but that is not who we are in our awakened state yet. We, right now, most of us are in 2 or maybe 3 or 3.5 strands of DNA. But when we awaken to the full 12 strands of DNA, we will become a race of stellar beings. Humanity will go on, but it won't be as we are. It will be awakened.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I get it then, is that so like I was most recently from Arcturus, but I have all the DNA of all those races because I came into a human form.
No, not all of the races, just the ones that seeded you. So, you have DNA from all 12 races, but what we're doing today is tracing your star family, where you were before you came to be human.
Uh-huh.
Okay? So I think at the end of the class, if you don't understand, ask again, because there's some more information that you haven't received yet.
Might help. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Is it Sue? You have to unmute. There you go. Unmute yourself.
Good afternoon. So just a quick question. If I missed the class on the 16th, am I still able to take that and find out?
Yeah.
Fabulous.
Yeah, you're a Pleiadian.
Okay. Love Pleiadians.
How do you know that?
She just told me.
But how?
Because Seth is a master at looking at your Akashic records, and Seth told me.
Right. Oh, I'm here with my sister. Hey, sister.
Hello there. This is awesome. This is so amazing.
But prior to that, you were originally related to the galactic archangels, and you chose to then to come and be Pleiadian.
Beautiful.
I don't know how relevant you'll find that. So basically, you're a being of service.
I love that. And can my sister ask also? We'll both take that class.
What's her name?
Janet Jennings.
And what's your last name?
Jennings.
Okay. And when did you register?
Oh, I did. My sister's just sharing this with me, but.
Oh, no, I can't then. I'm sorry.
Okay,
because I haven't meditated with you, and it wouldn't be appropriate.
Okay, I understand.
For the people that did register. So you can contact me privately, and we can do a session sometime if you'd like to know more about yourself.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you.
You bet. Okay, anybody else that's, okay, Beth?
Yeah, just quickly, Seth had said number 1, Lyrian for me, and then I had gotten some different feedback. Yes, anyway, I won't go into the story, but is that for sure that would be number 1 for me that was most recent?
Okay, so let me find you.
I mean, it's what Seth said. I just wanted to double check that.
What I have on the list is 2 and 7, so you're primarily Syrian.
Okay.
But everybody has Pleiadian DNA, like I said, but that doesn't mean you're a full-blown Pleiadian. And then prior to that, you must have spent a little bit more time in the Lyran system, or she wouldn't have brought it up. If you've just had one lifetime, like a launch lifetime, she just doesn't acknowledge that as Starseed family. But she is for you, so you probably had more than one lifetime there as a Lyran.
Okay.
That's 11th dimensional.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. You know what, you guys? I'm feeling get into more information that will help you answer your questions, and then do more questions at the end. Okay. Is that all right? Anybody got a comment?
A short one.
Joanna?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
I think I had the number 2 last time. Syrian.
Joanna, and what?
R-U-S-E last name.
Is it Stone? Joanna Stone?
No, it's Ayana.
Oh, Ayana. Okay, here we are. Ruth.
Yes.
Okay. And what is the question?
So last time I had number 2 Syrian, the first one.
Correct.
Is Syrian A and B or?
She didn't say. I don't know. Sirius A is if you're working with the reincarnation of cats, dogs, horses, fish. Sirius B is if you're working with the reincarnation of humans. You happen to have a feeling about that? And also there's other stars in the Sirian system.
Oh, okay.
So you're getting into another level of like saying, okay, I'm from Nebraska, but you know, I'm from a little town called Arnold, and nobody knows where that is, but it was important to me. I lived there, you know. So we're not able to go into that depth, I guess is what I'm saying. She's just trying to identify the system and the dimension that you're from.
I see. Thank you. It's the next level. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah. Okay. So looking at the clock, let's take a short break, only 10 minutes, and come back and we'll get ready for the dimensional travel. Okay. I'll pause the recording. So everyone can hydrate, you know, stretch your legs, take some deep breaths. Welcome back after the break to communication with our star family and dimensional travel. We're going to get right on with it. I'm going to share the screen and we're going to move into an energy now and really keeping your vibration as high as you can. We're going to stop in each of the different dimensions. The energy that's going to help you do this if you can't do it on your own is the whales. So I'm going to put some music on in the background so you can feel and sense that energy. Their living Merkaba, their light field, has been my crutch, I guess you'd say, for many years before I learned to activate my own Merkaba. And so feel the energy as you give permission for that, for them to come and to help you with this dimensional travel. If for any reason that doesn't feel comfortable, you can still look at the pictures and listen to the information that we're going to share. But we're first going to take a tour of the first 10 dimensions. And that means starting with the core of the Earth herself, which is the first dimension. And then Hollow Earth, underneath Hollow Earth is really the second dimension. And it's wonderful beings living there. Third dimension is, of course, where we live, all the way up to the 10th dimension, which is the black hole. If you were to go through the black hole and you were to journey to the other side, you would find the Lyran system, which is the 11th dimension. If you would keep going in higher dimensions, which we're not going to really do because it's not really applicable to life on Earth, you would find 13th and 14th dimensional beings, which are the Arcturians. They are very much stewards for us. And then again, in the higher realms, as the angels transverse, the galactic angels are pretty much stay in our galaxy, and then the cosmic archangels would again be free to journey, and we're just going to be speaking to one of them at some point. So the first step is I'm going to bring up a PowerPoint that you can look at with some information I'm going to share from Seth about each dimension. And so when you realize the dimension that we're connecting to is connected also to the beings that live there, which are reflective of the starseed races, then when we come through the second time, we're going to stop in each dimension and make contact with one of those emissaries, one or more. And hopefully one of your starseed family is going to come forward and talk with you. If not, an emissary will, and you'll get some good information that will put you on the path to communicating with them on a regular basis. But remember, this only happens in your body if you have a high vibration, if you've surrendered the mind, and you're in the heart. Okay, it doesn't work if you're trying to think your way through it, or you're trying to analyze it, or you're in the vibration of I'm doing it wrong. Yeah, well, as long as you're there, you're still in the third dimension. There is no right or wrong in the higher dimensions. There's only free will choice, and all choices are honored. So the actual reality of doing this requires the vibration of, I used the metaphor in the last class of the AM and the FM radio. You're never going to make FM radio AM. You have to come up to the FM station to tune into it. Okay, it's a little bit like that. So here we go. People in the waiting room. Okay. Good. Okay, here we go. I think everybody's in. Okay. Pretty picture, huh? So in a very real way, if this is not something you do on a regular basis, you can consider this an initiation to remembering who you are. Earth is multidimensional and exists in many realms, but the dimension that you're comfortable with right now would be considered the third dimension, which is actually transitioning into the fifth dimension. We're going to skip the fourth dimension because it's not a very happy place to be. Okay. And this art is by John Luke Bazzali. Some of you may know him. He's a visionary artist. He lives in the big island of Hawaii. And his website is I Within. I use quite a bit of his art, and he's a good friend. It's EYEIwithin.com. He's amazing. So we want to start with the seed creation. It's called the flower of life, that all form and life is created from this particular sacred geometric form. Dimension 1 would be considered the iron core crystal, which is the center of the earth. It's what creates the magnetosphere in that which we call the North and the South Pole. It's pretty much solid iron. Dimension 2 is hollow earth, the realms of crystals and minerals. Hollow earth is resident to many, many Pleiadians. So as you tune, if you are Pleiadian or you want to know more about them, which I recommend, you may just want to connect to hollow earth because so many of them are there and would willingly come to see you in your home. And if you're into seeing, if you're activating your clairvoyance, they would allow them perhaps to see you. If you were here and you were here at night, I would take you out. At night, you can see 2 Pleiadian ships that are always around my house. They move a little bit, but they're basically, I think, looking out for me. And since we made contact so many years ago, I don't exactly know what they do, but it always makes me feel good to know they're here. And everyone can see them at night. So also other very advanced beings live in hollow earth. It is the realm of life between the iron core crystal and the Earth's crust, as well as the world of life forms, including chemicals, crystals, minerals, bacteria, etc. The second dimension is a source of strength and vitality. It represents our physical body chemically because everything that makes up our body comes from here. It's where crystals and minerals come from. It's no wonder so many of us are attracted to it and want to work and play with the crystals. Mastering our physical health requires you connecting to the second dimension, basically, that part of Earth. Most of you know crystals are alive, they're sentient, they grow. Quartz crystals are such a huge part of our world because they are storage devices for data. Earlier when I showed you Altazar, the crystal skull, he has so much wisdom, so much information. And for someone who's really tuned into that, I'm sure he'd like to write a book, Where would we be without the crystals? I don't want to know. They're so much a part of the aliveness, of the sentience of Earth. Beautiful. And obviously the third dimension is where we live now. It's where we experience nature in its myriad of different ways. All life and things on Earth's surface basically is third dimensional. It's part of the hologram of linear space and time shared with all biological creatures, including the plants and the humans, the animals. It's where the physical and the non-physical realms intersect, experiencing the physical body while still having the capacity to explore other dimensions and experience yourself as a multidimensional being. Part of the reason you come here is to master interconnectedness. Again, it's where spirit and the crystalline energy of spirit take a form, take density, and this is done through what we call DNA. One of the nice things about Earth are the sunrises and the sunsets, huh? So beautiful. Yeah. You think so too? Yeah. Okay. Rivers and lakes and streams. My favorites. Truly is a beautiful planet here in the third dimension. This is one of my mini retreats to Hawaii. This was in Maui, where we're near the black sand beach. We have beautiful ceremonies, and boat trips. The fourth dimension, if you don't already know, is often called the gray zone. It's the realm of illusion, human collective mind and feelings. It's where individual thoughts and feelings meld and weave themselves into archetypal patterns that connect all people. So master balancing your male and female energies in harmony. So often also when someone transitions, their soul doesn't go all the way through the tunnel and return to the higher dimensions of what we would call heaven. It gets stuck in the fourth dimension, and they believe they're in heaven because everything that they think immediately appears. So I always think of this man where I connected with his family, and then they wanted me to connect with him, and he kept saying, please don't worry about me, I'm in heaven. I go to the racetrack every day and I drink martinis all day long, and I win every race and I never get drunk. Yeah, I have to laugh. That's not heaven. That's the fourth dimension. So it would be the good, the bad, and the ugly, everything made conscious. Also, beautiful things can be there too, but if you would monitor the thought forms of, let's say you just pick out 100 people on the planet, 100, like randomly, pick 100 people, and you monitor every thought they've had, that would be, sort of taking a piece of the jigsaw puzzle of the fourth dimension. And would you say that their thought forms are more than 50% good? They don't have any fear? Or would you say that there's more negative thought than there is positive thought? It's a good question, isn't it? Makes you think about where your thoughts are. So everything that you can imagine that you see in the movies, Star Trek, Star Wars, where do you think all that exists? It's real. That's in the fourth dimension. So the beings that are there living it are seeding the consciousness of people who would make movies about it. And there's some good there. As long as there's a happy ending, I'll, be more apt to go than if it's all war. So again, we don't want to get into a judgment over if it's good or bad, but it's definitely not a place to dwell. Santa Claus is there, the Easter Bunny, as well as everything dark you've ever created in your mind or imagined. All the fear would be there. So the fourth dimension is often thought of when the baby is in the mom's womb and ready to be born. The consciousness is going to come in, which is the soul. And it's going to come traveling down the silver cord from the higher dimensions, and it's going to have to come through that fourth dimensional realm, often called the gray zone. And this is where, people worry if the family isn't strong or the light isn't strong in the home that the baby's going to get attacked with different entities and so forth. So we want to be very careful with our babies when they're born and keep their energy clear. Love them so much that nothing like that can happen. Keep your home, blazed with the violet flame. Also, in my experiences of working with dolphins, often they'll go into what they call the gray zone, and there'll be people there that are stuck, that have forgotten that they didn't go through the tunnel when it was their time, and they're not communicating with their guides. They don't even realize their guides are there with them. And the dolphins will try to guide them into these tunnels of light to help them go out of the fourth dimension and journey on home. So I've been a part of that. So that would be a positive thing that you could do if you feel you're strong enough. And I'd recommend that you let the dolphins help you, though. Okay, fifth dimension is where we want to be. It's where we're ascending to. And again, their Pleiadian brothers and sisters are there. The realm of love, the realm of heart. The realm of love is held in form by the Pleiadians that actually have physical form, that they express their energy and they send their light to the whole universe. The realm of light that is created and centered there resonates throughout the cosmos. That's how powerful it is. They have universities of light that are there where people come and study from different star systems into the universities of light and learn to use their gifts of clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, time travel, morphing their bodies into different forms, healing. It's a realm of master unconditional love, Seth is saying, and forgiveness. Connecting with the Pleiadians, whether you are Pleiadian or whether you're connecting into the Pleiadians as your brothers and sisters, can greatly accelerate your spiritual path. They very much want to connect with you and also to see you stay grounded, stay really connected to the earth and your mission while remembering who they are. So Seth says when we do ascend, we will go, every single human will go to the Pleiadian realm, to one of the stars there, and you will have a Pleiadian family for a year or even 2 years, however long it takes you to integrate back into what we would call perfect thought form, where you no longer have negative thoughts or you no longer have any toxic energy, because one negative thought in their realm, like say a city of Pleiadians, would be very destructive to them because they're super sensitive and they're only about love. The being in the middle is often, when you look at Pleiadians pictures, is often one of their emissaries. And when he comes around, and he introduced himself first to some friends of mine, this is a number of years ago, and then to me, his name is San Jas. So he's a very powerful emissary, and he's very well known on Earth for his coming and his teachings, his assistance. So Alisacone is the Pleiadian sun, and in the cosmic dance of it all, as the Milky Way, which is our star system, continues to rotate in the big cosmic dance, our sun will become Alisacone, and probably not that far in the future. And the Pleiadian system will rotate into where the Sirian system is, and they'll take over those roles. The Sirian system will rotate into Andromeda and so forth. It's a big dance. And of course, it takes many thousands of years for the cosmic ascension to occur, but we are on the cusp of that. Definitely the realm of love. And love is everything. Love is the answer. Okay, the sixth dimension is the realm of the Sirians. It's the realm of genetics and replicating geometric form. So we talked last week about the Merkaba, or the light body, and that is the double star tetrahedron. And in the world here, we want to continue to keep it blazing violet flame, which is, the clearing energy the whales provide us, which originally came from Venus. So keeping that violet flame is very much a part of keeping your house clean. The Sirians, of course, teach that. It's a nice picture. Dolphins and whales emanate from Sirius B in the Sirian system. And dogs and cats, their origin is Sirius A, almost always. Once in a while, I'll get one that's not from there. But there are many stars in the Sirian system, and they are all about organization. They're all about structure. And of course, the genetic splicing and understanding of advanced creation and the celestial mechanics of it. It's a picture of the system from one of our telescopes. It's an example of something that might be created in the Sirian system. Beautiful mandalas. And of course, in their world, all of this it'd be much more than just beauty. It would have purpose. It would be, a living, working, mechanical thing in the sense of what it was created to do, not just to be beautiful. Very complex. So the sixth dimension is how vibration becomes visible form. Okay, so your soul, that's the eternal, immortal part of you, would come to the Sirian system after you have got permission to reincarnate on Earth, and you would have already chosen your parents, and you would have chosen your birth date, and you would have created what we call the divine life blueprint for this lifetime, which would, of course, be connected to all other lives. Very complex document that would be, you'd work with your divine blueprint in the Orion system before you came, and you'd be with councils that would say, you might say, okay, in this life I'm going to do this and this and this and this, and they would stop you and say, that's too much for one life. You got to come back. Got to focus, settle in. You don't want to be overwhelmed. You want to be able to accomplish your missions when you're born. So you'd have a lot of advisory councils before you finally came to Sirius. And when you did, then that would be rolled out, and that would be where your baby body gets created. And then there would be a timeline connected to that with various exit points, opportunities to transition, opportunities and contracts to meet certain people, to resolve karma, or to create new situations together that you agreed to do when you were in the stars. And now you're going to meet on Earth to, create or do blank. You fill in the gaps. Maybe it's get married. Maybe it's have children. Maybe it's do a certain job, or be an inventor, or, who knows? That all gets dealt with in this dimension. The geometric forms that the Syrians use create the life bodies of the plants, the animals, the humans, and all material objects in 3D. Mastering any technique that aligns our physical bodies with our ideal form, such as Tai Chi or yoga, dance, meditation, the martial arts, is in a way bringing the 6D energy into 3D. And again, it's how sacred geometry and vibration become visible form and into a dense body. The seventh dimension is Andromeda. It's also the realm of Alpha Centauri, but primarily Andromeda, being a much larger system. And it's where sound and vibration are everything. People in this realm don't have a physical body like this. This would be a human looking at the seventh dimension. They would move through waves of light and color. Sentience, basically mastering communication with all sentient beings. Obviously, there's a lot of music there, and even the creation of music, the creation of new languages, all woven together with color and sacred geometry. This is a realm of cosmic sound. It is the galaxy's communication system. Sound therapy is becoming very popular on Earth and is a powerful healing modality that may assist us to connect with this dimension where it originates. Also, the Andara crystals, which I'll show a picture of in a minute. Isn't that beautiful? This would be looking at Andromeda people, Andromeda, life on Andromeda. Also, the Andara crystals from Mount Shasta are said to be from the Andromeda galaxy and are extremely powerful tools for ascension. Their intelligence is beyond our planet, mastering communications with all sentient beings. So many people have channeled that the Andarian crystals, including Seth, are from the Andarian star system, which is outside of our universe even. It's that they've come through the Andromeda Stargate, which interestingly, the dimensions are stacked one on top of the other until we get to Andromeda, and then there's a side gate. It's like if you're looking at it, it comes in from the left side. So it's a way to get to other parts of the universe without having to go through the black hole, which is kind of interesting. But lots of people believe they're from here, the seventh dimension. Beautiful crystals. Okay, now we come to the eighth dimension, which is Orion. And again, this is the control point for our galaxy. This is where the higher minds meet, the realm of divine order. It's a picture of the Orion system, and you want to take note of the 3 stars of Orion, which basically set up 3 different stargates that create what we call linear time on Earth. I'm sure they do other things too, but our focus when we go through them is past, present, and future, and how that sets up in our system. It's also very much connected to Sirius. If you study any of the Egyptology stuff, you'll see that the people that when we lived in 5D very much believed that this is, the home world, basically. I remember one day very clearly, not that long ago, when Buddha said, how come everybody talks about heaven and nobody wants to know where it is? Nobody ever says, where's heaven? Why don't they do that? And, I remember studying the teachings of Jesus when I grew up, and he said, in my Father's mansion, there are many homes. I said, I thought there were a lot of different heavens. And Buddha said, well, of course there's lots of heavens. Don't you want to know the one in your own galaxy? And I'm like, oh, okay. Okay. So we got into these teachings with Orion and starting to understand it a little bit more. And then I think it's been 5 years ago now, I discovered that this is my main world of working. Would be my closest home family is here. This is the Orion Nebula, which is located behind Mintaka, which actually is what Buddha would call, or Seth would call, the first heaven. The stardust that is gathered from this nebula creates animal and human form. And I say that pretty freely because there was a scientist that someone sent me his work where he discovered that he had, through one of the, he's connected to NASA and all of that, that the stardust from this particular nebula, somehow he had it, got it, studied it, and said that this has all of the elements. And it's the only place I can think of, he said, where we would have been created from based on the chemical composition of all of that. So again, here's the 3 stars of the Orion system. And Al-Nitek is on the end. Then the middle star, Al-Nilhem. And there's Mintaka with the nebula behind it. So Mintaka, as you remember, we talked about, is the home of the Elohim in our galaxy. Again, not all of them, just the ones in our galaxy. Also probably greatly visited by the angels. This is where the archives are held. The great library in the sky, basically. And then again, discovering that the nebula is behind Mintaka, and of course is protected by the Elohim. You may have heard in your teachings and books that you've read that there were wars in the Orion system. And that was during the time when the angels rebelled and the people from Mars came, and the planet that was Lucifer's, it was destroyed. That's our asteroid belt now. So a lot of those beings came and they fought over this nebula. They fought over the ability to have it, to create form. Fortunately, those wars are over now. It's a nice, safe place to be. Beautiful. The planet that was destroyed is coming to me, Maldek, which is now our asteroid belt. That was during the time of the wars. But importantly now, it's the home of the Galactic Federation. It's where great decisions would be made. A smaller metaphor for that might be when Washington, D.C. was first created. I don't necessarily believe it is now a place of integrity, but it would have been, at one point when the Constitution was written, and the place where we most revere, our elected officials from all parts of the galaxy would be here. Councils, decisions would be made that would impact everyone, or particular things that would be created. This is the home of the Galactic Federation, which is a bunch of different big starships that, protect this galaxy. The 9th dimension is a place you cannot go. It's also a place that you really can't hang out and travel to, which we're going to do in a little bit with the whale's help. It's called the Zolkin realm, and they are the keepers of time. They don't communicate with other worlds. They just have a big job to do, and part of it is to keep the planets all rotating in perfect harmony, and gravity and all of that, everything that would create time in check. So they're very advanced beings that work directly for Source, but they do not interact with us. So the 9th dimension isn't all that relevant when you're considering your home world being the Milky Way right now. Nice picture of the Milky Way. As you know, it's a spiral galaxy, so it looks different from different angles. These are all Milky Way pictures. And the 10th dimension then would be the galactic center, the black hole, which is the gateway to the outer universe. Not a place that a human can go. You'd be torn apart by the gravity. But you can go there in your light body, and you can travel through, which you probably do fairly often. And all of this, of course, reflects into the grid system around the planet. All of these dimensions and different beings and worlds of form in some way or another are connected to us and our well-being. It's kind of nice to see the flower of life laid down over the earth, isn't it? It's beautiful. Okay. So open up here for questions before we take the journey. On our journey, we're going to travel with the whale, again, creating a vehicle for us to go there. We're going to stop in each dimension on a particular planet, and an emissary is going to come forward, perhaps a family member for you. There'll probably be all kinds of beings coming forward. I haven't done this with a group before this size. I think it's going to be exciting.
Lori,
Yeah.
where do the Arcturians fit in that?
The Arcturians, I'm so glad you brought that up. So we won't be going to the Arcturian realm because we're not going to be able to go through the black hole with the whale. But the Arcturian realm, I think I'll just start there. I was going to end with it, but I think I'll start there and then go into the Lyran system. The Arcturians are in stewardship, not only to our galaxy, but to other worlds of form. They're the most advanced beings, 13th, 14th, 15th dimensional. They have absolutely mastered the emotional body, and they understand how to create, and they understand how to rejuvenate their bodies. Sanat Kumara, Buddha saying, potentially will meet with us briefly today. Is that right? Sanat Kumara is the leader of the fleet, basically president of the universe. He was president of Venus. He's probably, 100,000 years old in his physical body. They just continue to rejuvenate, and he's committed. What you need to know is he's committed with the fleet to protecting Earth and free will here. He will not come in and intervene or save you. He is not your savior. He's here to protect the Earth so that you can use your free will to save yourself. Okay, he would never intervene and take away your ability to be bad if you want to be bad. But if another group of beings broke through, somehow they got through, however they get through, and they would attack Earth or the moon or any really relevant part of our particular part of the solar system, they would intervene. And their technology is so advanced that they would just, the other beings would not exist anymore. What they would do is take their weaponry, and as another ship would shoot at one of the galactic fleet ships, they would just turn it back to them times 100. And they would be blown up. They would be blown up by their own ammunition. So they have evolved to where they don't need to have weaponry in the sense of how we understand it. We have, when people say to me, aren't you worried about the coronavirus? Or of course I'm not, I'm working with the whales, but aren't you worried about this? Or aren't you worried about that? And I say, I'm not. I totally trust Sanat Kumara and the fleet to take care of this planet. I feel very safe here, in spite of all the negativity, in spite of the reptiles, in spite of everything. Because I know they're watching, and they'll protect anyone in the sense of someone who's radiating light that wants help. I'm not worried about it a bit. I totally trust them. I've lived through 2 different times when I knew the Earth was being attacked through the sun. And of course, I have my little advisor here to help me with that. There was even a time, I think it was, 2015? Yeah. When so many beings had set up to attack our solar system, and they were all around the sun trying to break through. You could see, there were pictures. You even could see pictures of them. And if you follow Corey Good and some of that, the sphere, they call them the sphere of beings. That's the Arcturians. They came, and also the blue avians, and they set up this incredible structure of orbs all around the planet, so nothing can penetrate it. It was a huge deal because, they covered the whole sun to protect us until the other beings, I guess. But see, they didn't come in and just kill them because they could do that. But that's not who they are. They're all about freedom and love. And so they just made a barrier that they couldn't get through. It's like, how would you treat kids that are bullies, that are throwing rocks, You just basically, wait until they stop throwing rocks, but create a shield so that rocks don't hurt you. There's a fairly recent picture, if you follow Gaia TV and David Wilcock and Corey Good, it's back when their show was on Gaia. And David had a picture of, okay, how do I say this? The moon has got a lot of not benevolent beings on it. Okay, we're not going to talk about that, but they are. That's why we don't go back there. They basically own the moon. And when one of the big sphere ships, the Arcturian ships, came over the moon, they opened up a cannon, it's a red cannon, and shot at it. And the satellite caught the picture of the weapon, of the red cannon going towards the ship. And the next picture from the satellite was just like dust, you know. So the Arcturians just put up their big mirror and sent the cannon right back to them. And then, of course, there was a huge explosion on the moon, which everyone could see that was following that. That's telescopes and stuff. This stuff is real, you know. I love the Arcturians. I love them. Okay, this is what's been written. The Arcturians are a group consciousness extraterrestrial race that is highly evolved and have come from the Arcturus star system. They seek to help mankind and are known as master healers. Their skills and knowledge in working with spiritual energies are immense. They have channeled that they are motivated to help us humans find our perfected self. Perfection here means being connected and aligned with our divine soul in ways which lead to the fullest possible experience and expression of the human. Sometimes we need healing to assist us with this, and so this is why they are known for their healing skills. However, they are capable of helping us with many different aspects of our multidimensional self, such as with energetic purification, grounding, soul awareness, with working in energetic ways with our chakras and our life bodies. I experience Arcturians as divine and very highly vibrational. Again, very much in touch with their emotional body. Often, not only are they great healers, but they're like you, Sarah. I mean, they end up creating a radio or a television program, a platform for their expression of their truth. They're very much about connecting the wisdom to the people. So, because they have it within them.
Thank you.
Yeah, and this is for everybody that has Arcturian energy. Some of my friends are Judith Moore, who I'm going to be doing the Awakening Divine Reality Summer Retreat in Colorado Springs. She's been one of my mentors. If you look at the testimonials for the coronavirus, she is the one that wrote the top one, which identifies who I am in the stars. She sees. I mean, she's embodied in human form, but she's about the most loving being you're ever going to meet. But she feels, Arcturians feel, because they know about the emotional body. They eat feelers. They laugh big. They cry big. You know, they're fun at parties. They're great. Their life mission when they come into human form is always big. It's always big. They don't play small. Is that helpful? And cool.
Very much. Thank you.
Yeah, because we don't have a way to, well, Seth is saying there's no purpose to travel to their system because they're here in their ships, and you would do better to connect to Sanat Kumara or just to the Galactic Fleet and ask for their help. They'll help you. Okay, I'm going to open up here. The next thing I'd like to do, unless there's a major question or something bothering you, is I'm going to put on the whale music like we talked about, and we're going to go into the dimensions again. And I'll put the PowerPoint up so you can look. But we're basically going to stop at these different places. And I've already been worked with Seth to meet the emissaries that are coming forward. So I'd have a little heads up on who they are, what their name is. Okay. And we'll take a few minutes in each place to look at how much time we have. Yeah, probably 5 minutes or so in each of the stops. And I would encourage you to journal. I would encourage you to say, let's practice an affirmation together. I seek now to connect to my true star family. And as I make these different stops, you know, in the multiple dimensions, I ask that the beings that I have known that are my family come forward and meet me. Something like that. You can say it in your own words. That you're summoning them. And I think hopefully this class will go way beyond what we do today, and that you'll make contact with more than one, and you'll get to know them a little bit, or you'll break through. If you're wanting to explore more of your Akashic records, obviously I can't do that with each of you in great depth today, but we certainly could in a personal session. But let's focus on the mission first. You might be surprised what you get, and it's really about moving out of the mind and trusting it, trusting from the heart. Okay, so I'm going to share the screen again. Forgot about the whales. Take a moment now as the whale sings for you. Sense and feel your energy becoming lighter. Giving permission now for the whale's energy body to descend around you, simply as a vehicle of travel. We make this interdimensional journey connecting. One of the easiest ways to do that is to go in through the left eye as the whale appears to you. And also know if you're having any trouble, they'll just envelop you. You must give your permission or it won't happen. Well, it's okay. Trusting now on this journey to the fifth dimension. Take a little tour of the Pleiadian star system. Then we're going to go to Europa, picture of the star. We're going to set down on the Earth there. Open up to the Pleiadian humanoids that now approach you as we separate ourselves briefly from the whale. Sanjas is here, but also two others that I can recognize, Althenia and Anala. But also open to any other Pleiadians that come to you specifically. They're reminding us that the Pleiadian system are our brothers and sisters of light. They watch over us 24/7. They're very, very, very vested in Earth and what goes on Earth. The Pleiadian system is often known as the Seven Sisters. They are more evolved than us for obvious reasons. I've been around longer. Really are here to offer us spiritual guidance. They have mastered the aspects of self-love, of unconditional love, and harmony in their society. They're very joyful, but they encourage us to go and do things that make us laugh, to lighten up, to play more, to make love more, to be more attuned, again, to the emotional body in its various forms. Not be so serious. In this system, they have a great appreciation if you go there to see art, music, dance companies. They also have, as I said before, the universities of light, where the higher teachings from their culture and society are taught to many different beings across the expanse of many galaxies. But they have honored themselves, they say, by offering to Starseed the human race, and are happy to be our brothers and sisters in the sense of as we evolve, we will naturally connect with them, and eventually we will naturally go there. And we will start to understand the true triangulation, which is behind the creation story. The energy of the goddess, the energy of God, and the energy of the soul. Those three different soul beings make up the creation story behind each of us. They're very knowledgeable about the human body because theirs is very similar to ours, about the correct use of food and drinking blessed water and how that affects the human's emotional body and their intelligence, how the Pleiadian or the human interacts in society based on what they use and put in their body. So they're very attuned to healthy food. When they choose to incarnate on the earth, it's so that they can have a fuller expression and understanding of what it's like to be human, but primarily to be available to assist others. They're definitely service beings. We have achieved so much as different races of Pleiadians that there isn't much more for them to actually experience and learn. But they very much want to continue to rise up in their ability to serve and to give guidance to those that are just now waking up and evolving. So I'm going to set the timer for a few minutes, and I want you to journal with Sanjas, Althenia, or Analai, or a Pleiadian that comes to you specifically and would like to connect with you. Go ahead and take a few notes. Make contact. let's thank the emissary that you've chosen to commune with. Tell them that you can be available, as early as this evening, if that's what appeals to you, to continue that conversation and to know more and to be a part of your life now. Connecting again to the great whales, merging. Moving up now to the 6th dimension. It's the realm of genetics, replicating geometric form, using the power of sacred geometry to create life. The realm of the dolphins and whales. They are all master geneticists. Taking a moment now to step out of the travel vehicle, which is the body of the whale. As you step out, the same thing's going to happen. Emissaries are approaching. The two that I met are Tridija, that's spelled Trydiga, and Nagla. Tridija is female, Nagla is male, spelled Nahglah. Not necessarily the two that you'll commune with, but they're there. If you'd like to talk to them, if you're Syrian, you might want to meet one of your family members that's been waiting for you. Remembering now that the Syrian civilization is a Christed civilization. It's a very important world where the genetics of the divine life blueprint are put together and fired into the etheric. It's a very advanced race of beings that are trusted with the perfection of using all 12 strands of DNA to form the human in the way that's perfect and right for them. The Syrian system is an advanced training center for many advanced ascended masters to travel to then reincarnate and bring those skills to Earth. Sirius has a direct link with our solar system for a long time. The Syrians have been amongst us since the time of the Mayan and the Egyptian civilizations. They gave the Egyptians much of the advanced astronomical and medical information that we still use. They also gave the Mayan race advanced technology. They helped the Earth during the time of the cataclysm of the time of Atlantis. Sirius is a star system which is a meeting place for Earth beings who wish to continue their spiritual studies. The Syrians helped to build the pyramids in the Syrian system and then developed a way to use time travel and a portal to deliver them to the Earth, including the Giza platform and the main pyramids of the Earth were created in the Syrian system. They're very much invested in helping us move into the next golden age to ascend. It'll take a few more minutes for you to commune with your Syrian friends. beautiful souls, it's time to give thanks to your Syrian emissary or your family member. Tell them that you can see them again at another time. Syrians quite often will visit Earth as well, so you may invite them to come and see you. And it's time now to come back to the Great Whale, which are a vehicle for dimensional travel. Thanks to the beings that take vibration and sacred geometry and make it into form. We're lifting off now, coming up in vibration, coming to a new dimension that's known as the 7th dimension of Andromeda, also of Alpha Centauri, and this is again is the realm of cosmic sound. Here you may or may not experience beings that are going to appear humanoid. They might. You're gonna find out. You're gonna get out. And the emissaries that promised to meet us there are Prewera. She's Andromedan. The way I wrote her name is Prewhera. And an Alpha Centauri emissary, Litella. Litela is what I wrote. Here they are, ready to meet us. But again, take note of other beings that may be coming that are more closely related to you that would like to speak with you, to make contact. Give yourself over now to spend some time here in this dimension with family. So for anybody having any challenges, Litella is saying, we very much work with how your water-based body is changing from what it was, which was a crystalline form, into a water body to come to Earth, to be very sensitive to sound, to be able to shift your vibration simply by listening to sound. And now it's shifting back from the water body, which is sentient, slowly back into a crystalline form, which will be like water vapor, but laced with crystalline energy. So it's about how the carbon-based molecule has served to be your form. Well, and it still is, but it's changing. And as it shifts, you will be able to carry more light, and it will be easier to spend longer periods of time in our dimension, if you so choose to visit. So we are actively involved through sound and harmonics, color, in shifting our part of the Earth and the humans into being able to understand how to use your crystalline DNA, which is all 12 strands, for the greater good. It takes all 12 strands of DNA to create what we call the coveted experience. It's very coveted, to bring it into form, representing the divinity of our master, prime creator in every aspect of yourself. So they're about the science behind that, with how it begins to spin and radiate diamond solar plasma light is what they're saying. An activated human is one with an activated heart that can collectively look into the vibration of unity consciousness and use their DNA for continual personal and collective upgrades in the DNA. They're showing me how the whales have tried to explain how they use scalar waves to create the immunity shield for the coronavirus, which is the healing that we're doing now. And what they basically use is photonic light in this oscillating frequency of scalar waves to come in and affect our DNA, raise the vibration through the DNA, to create a new template, a higher version of a Christed being. Very cool. So they're about helping us understand how all of that works with the crystalline bridge the Christed energy, which allows us to channel and to hear and understand how the crystalline strands of DNA begin to embody our multidimensional self, where we can exist simultaneously in many worlds. They really are the gateway to the higher intelligences. Okay, I'm going to be quiet so you can talk to your emissary now. Well, they're also saying that they are instrumental in assisting the whales and having the most powerful healing sound in the galaxy. Listening to whale sounds can correct your DNA in a very accelerated way and expand your consciousness. We talked about that in the first class. Dr. Todd and Dr. Emoto has proven that with whale sounds. Okay, it's time now to come back to the whale, offering gratitude, saying goodbye to your emissary from the 7th dimension. Okay, beautiful. It's time to move on up to the 8th dimension now. This is the realm of divine mind in order, in the organizational, structural part of our galaxy. The realm of divine mind as imagined at the most powerful level of organizational, run by the Galactic Federation. Orion is the keeper. Orion is an actual huge angelic, being that is the keeper of this entire star system, the realm of the 3 stargates. And this is where we experience the energy of what we would call heaven and the archives of Mintaka, the Elohim. El Nilham, which is the presence of teaching us to be in the present moment, living in the oneness of all that is. raising our vibration. And Al-Nitak, which teaches us about how energies are constantly being examined that are from our future, that are determined when and how it's appropriate to introduce them into our system, where it can be of assistance without confusion. It's like templates of light and love and harmony and healing are continually being brought to the planet from this particular part of the Orion system. The Orion system is home to the Ashtar Command, which is part of the Galactic Fleet of volunteers that come from all over the universe, and their mission is to bring spiritual teachings of protection to evolving planets, including Earth. They are a group of different types of beings that represent a galactic universal focus and effort. They are physical and non-physical members of the group, with Lord Ashtar being their leader. So Ashtar is there now as we sit down and step out to greet all of you. And again, he's very, very powerful, very knowledgeable. And it's a real honor to really have him be a part of our class today and agree to meet with you. He's saying that they have so many different starships now that are individually capable of serving in different capacities, in different dimensions, in different forms. And the Ashtar Command and the Galactic Fleet have many spiritual engineers that are so amazing. They're so privileged to work together for the greater good of planet Earth, keeping negative extraterrestrials away and being supportive of our birth into consciousness. The group that forms the Ashtar Command and the Galactic Federation are very evolved extraterrestrials, enlightening the rest of mankind, certainly the destiny of planet Earth and many other planets. A group of very talented and privileged starseeds that have chosen the highest level of service in their mission. Their aim, again, is to educate mankind on how to become a functioning member at the 8th dimension, to work in peace and cooperative ways with all life everywhere. So let's take a moment now to either meet a representative from the Orion system that's your family, or to continue to listen to the Ashtar Command. You call him Lord Ashtar. Enjoy. Okay, thank you now to the Galactic Federation, to the people of Orion, to Ashtar for greeting us. And know there's so much to explore here, so much to remember. You can always come back. It's, I think, important at some level to connect to the Galactic Fleet. God forbid you would ever have fear, but if you do, call on them. They'll help you. They'll send someone to help you. Just know you are loved and supported beyond what you can imagine from this realm. And certainly the first heaven being here certainly should feel like home to many. Let's merge with the whale, and we're going to journey on for a few minutes now up through the galaxy and the black hole, and we're going to go to the Lyran system. It's not a place, again, we can normally go. It's not really applicable to the Earth experience or to our own Milky Way galaxy. But some of you are primarily Lyran, and every single person, as I said, has had their first lifetime where they came from being just pure light and one with Source. Everyone came through the big Stargate there and came onto the Lyran planet and had a lifetime there too. It was a training lifetime. And for me, the memories of when I go there, particularly because Puda's in a cat body, and that's of course her home as well, are the lavender skies. I love lavender. Beautiful lavender skies and ribbons of light that are highways where the consciousness is so high, you just step onto a ribbon of light and it takes you where you want to go. And the buildings are all created with crushed crystals. You know, they're built with crystals, so that you can talk to the buildings. And the food materializes if you want to eat food in your hand or, you know, on the table in front of you, as the consciousness is so high. So the representative is Sonicah. Sonicah is female and is Soneicah. And we're not going to take long, but a few moments now to connect with the Lyran family that you may have here, and certainly to remember when you lived here, as we all did a long time ago. We're just saying the energy of thinking where you want to be and then instantly, or almost instantly, being there should feel normal to you now. Like if you're in a big structure that would be a hotel and you wanted to go to visit a friend, you would just think yourself there and you would be at the door ready to knock and see if you could visit them. Very powerful, very evolved. And as we said earlier, the home of the Dreamweavers. The dream state is very real here on Earth. Most people don't realize how real it is. Maybe even more real than your holographic life. So there is influence that is given to Earth from the Dreamweavers in a very positive, loving way. Okay, and for those of you that have angelic root races that were revealed by Seth, that would be a galactic root race or a cosmic angelic root race. We're going to journey on back to Earth, and we're going to go to the top of Mount Shasta, which is the portal or gateway for the Lemurians. It's a wonderful place to meet with angelic beings. If you're Lyran and you'd like to stay a little longer in the Lyran system, that's fine. Let's connect with our whale friend. Let's come back down through the wormholes, stargates. Sense and feel now as the whale is setting you down. We're on Mount Shasta in Northern California. And the first beings that you're going to see are Archangel Michael and Archangel Ariel. And even if this is not your root race, it might be fun to talk to them. I'm sure they'll have some wisdom for you. This is their realm. The Milky Way realm is their this is, when I say galactic archangel, I mean this galaxy, the Milky Way. So, or if you're from a different angelic family, go ahead and meet who's there for you. And take a few minutes to enjoy talking to them. Beautiful. I'd like to thank both Archangel Michael and Archangel Ariel for coming and meeting with our group today. Last but not least, now we're going to rejoin with the whale, and we're going to travel out into our own solar system to our sun. And we're going to meet Archangel Sandalphon, who is a cosmic archangel. Also throughout history has been known as Ra, who is the sun god. He is a universal consciousness that's playing the part of a sun god, which is really a galactic part, but that allows him to be impartial and also to be a father energy to all of the souls that choose to incarnate on Earth and the other planets that are in our solar system. So allow yourself to merge with the beautiful whale. And in just a moment, find yourself in the corona of the sun. Take note also that the sun is a stargate in its own right. It's a stargate to the outer galaxy. Find a place to sit down, and step out, and have a conversation, if you would, with Archangel Sandalphon. In many ways, you could call him your great father. going to use the call now of the great whale to bring us home, bring you back to your personal home space, your physical body is. I want to turn your attention briefly to the screen. I thought this was an interesting little timeline that Seth drew up for us. I've had it for a few years. So in discovering yourself and who you are and how you've been, light creates sound, sound creates sacred geometry, geometry creates form in the Sirian system, 6th dimension. Structure and form of the heart now occur when you're in your human form. The heart awakens, solution energy starts to flow from the 8th dimension. From the sun, of course, being the father. That's what you want to do. You want to open up to that divine intelligence, divine order, to the heavenly realms. Thank you, Seth. That was kind of cool. Well, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed that little tour.
What was the last thing on that after solution energy?
I'm going to turn my volume up and I can share it again. Hold on.
Oh.
The solution energy we want, you know, that when you open up from your heart, you're talking to your guides, you're talking to angels, you're talking to Mother, Father, God, you're talking to elemental beings. You want to be connected to 8D, you know, that's the Orion system. You totally want to be listening to them. Not that the other worlds don't have information too. I'm just saying it's as good as it's going to get in this galaxy. And that's where they're getting their information from. The first heaven would be the seat of God, basically, in our galaxy. So, okay.
Okay, thanks.
So I have a final channel for you, and it's kind of long, so I want you to stretch a little bit, take a drink of water. And it comes from the Pleiadian emissaries that I've worked with. Seth has sort of edited it, I guess you'd say, but it's really coming from the Pleiadians. And anything you take away from this class today is hopefully a connection to them, to your, the closest realm we have, 5D, and working with them. I think you'll like it. I hesitate sometimes to bring in other stuff, but I think it's relevant. Hopefully you'll think so too. There's always so much more information, and you have to be discerning, with what's true and what's appropriate and what will contribute as opposed to take away, right, from who we are. So here we go. We'll just dive in. The name of the channel is Prime Creator's Journey. It comes from the Pleiadian emissaries, mainly Sanjas, who's speaker for Earth. Humanity is an experiment. Humanity has been designed, as has just about everything else that exists within creation. Prime Creator began experimenting with the creation a long time ago in this universe for the purpose of greater self-exploration, self-gratification, and self-expression. Prime Creator brought energies and essences of life, extensions of itself into this universe, and endowed those extensions with the gifts that it had to give. It gave willingly and freely of its capabilities. There are many other universes and many other ways of designing universes. This particular one was designed as a free will zone in which all would be allowed. Prime Creator said to these extensions of itself, go out and create. and bring all things back to me. This was quite a simple assignment, was it not? In other words, Prime Creator was saying, quote, I'm going to gift you of myself. You go out and gift of yourselves freely so that all you create in this universe can understand its essence as my identity. These extensions of Prime Creator, which we call Creator Gods, went out and began to experiment with Prime Creator's energy as it existed within them. They began to create their own hierarchy, which in turn created other hierarchies. Each succeeding hierarchy created another hierarchy to endow with its own essence and to assist in the development of this universe. Eventually, in one of the galactic systems, a plan came together to design Earth as an intergalactic exchange, a center for information. It was an incredible plan. Earth was created as a beautiful place located on the fringe of the Milky Way galactic system and easily reached from the other galaxies. It was close to many portals, many highways, and energies to travel throughout space could arrive here. There was much scurrying and shuffling about to create individual representation from all of the galaxies here upon this planet. Some of the creator gods were master geneticists. They were able, through their hierarchies, to tie the molecules together, encoded molecules of identity, frequency, and electrical charge to create life. Many sentient civilizations gave of their DNA to have a representation of their coding upon the planet Earth. The master geneticists then designed various species, some human, some animal, by playing with the varieties of DNA that the sentient civilizations contributed to make Earth into this exchange center of information, a light center, a living library. The plan for Earth was grand. The original planners of Earth were members of what we call the family of light, light beings who worked for and were associated with the aspect of consciousness called light. Light, as you know, is information. The family of light created the information center they had conceived of, and they designed a place where galaxies could contribute their information, and all would be able to participate and share their specific knowledge, as Earth was to ultimately become a cosmic library, a place of incredible beauty that experimented with how information could be stored through the frequencies and the genetic process. The project to create the living library on Earth was eventually fought over. It looked enticing enough to be owned by some. During Earth's history, there were wars in space for the ownership of this planet. Have you ever wondered who owns Earth? It's a prime hunk of real estate from the cosmic perspective. Did you think it would go ownerless in space? Skirmishes took place, and the Earth became a place of duality. Certain creator gods who had the right to do whatever they wanted, because Earth is a free will zone, came in and took over. We call this the time of raiding of the Earth. It was like corporate raiding on Wall Street. These creator gods raided Earth approximately 300,000 Earth years ago. Historically speaking, this would be the beginning of the time of human civilization. When the skirmishes occurred, a certain group of entities fought in space and won the territory of Earth. These new owners did not want the native Earth species, the humans, to be informed of what had just taken place. Uninformed, the human species would be easier to control. This is why light is information and darkness is lack of information. The new owners beat out the light, and Earth became their territory. There was a great war, and the new owners took out the original species of the human creation, and there was great destruction, and the species of the humanoid beings became very scattered. These creator gods, who were the new owners, were also master geneticists. They understood how to create life, and they wanted this territory for their own reasons. Territories are created and held by certain energies for many reasons, one of which is there is a consciousness within all things. Consciousness communicates continuously. Consciousness vibrates and can be led to vibrate at certain electromagnetic frequencies. Electromagnetic energies of consciousness can be influenced to vibrate in a certain way to create a source of food. Just as apples can be prepared and served in a variety of ways as food, Consciousness can be prepared and adjusted in a variety of ways. Some entities in the process of their own evolution began to discover that as they created life and put consciousness into things through modulating the frequencies and forms of consciousness, they could feed themselves and they could keep themselves in charge in spite of the darkness that they emanated. These new owners who came here 300,000 years ago are the magnificent beings that are spoken of in your Bible, in the Babylonian and Sumerian tablets, and in texts all over the world. They came to Earth and rearranged the native human species. They rearranged your DNA in order to have you broadcast within a certain limited frequency band, whose frequency could feed them and keep them in power over you. You see, the original human was a magnificent being, given 12 strands of DNA that were contributed to by a variety of sentient and very benevolent civilizations. When the new owners came in, they worked in their laboratories and created versions of humans with a different DNA, the two-stranded DNA helix. They took the original DNA of the human species and disassembled it. The original DNA pattern was left with the human cells, yet it was not functional. It was split apart and unplugged. Within the human cells are light-encoded filaments, fine gossamer threads of energy that carry information. When these gossamer threads are working together like a cable, the fiber optics work and they form the helix of your DNA. When you were rearranged, you were left with the double helix. Anything that was unnecessary for survival and that which would keep you informed of light was unplugged, leaving you with only a double helix that would lock you into controllable operational frequencies. A frequency fence, then, something like an electric fence, was put around this planet to control you and how much the frequencies of humans could be modulated in change. As the story goes, this frequency fence made it very difficult for the frequencies of light and your benevolent brothers and sisters to penetrate. When light frequencies were able to penetrate the control fence, there was no light to receive them because the human DNA was unplugged. The light-encoded filaments were no longer organized or active. So the creative cosmic rays from our friends that brought us light didn't have anything to plug into or hold on to. So I tell you this to ask you, what part do you play in this story? You are all members of the family of light. The mere fact that you are hearing this message shows us that you were there. For some of you, this is like a dream. We are reminding you of that which you already know inside yourself. We are reminding you of what you know from history. We have come onto this planet to trigger your memory banks and to inspire the human race to the band of light, so that you will begin to remember who you are, to create your own reality, and to alter the frequency on this planet by awakening and claiming the rightful ownership of yourselves and this territory that we call Earth. You see, we as Pleiadians come back through time into what might perhaps be called your past. In the vestige of representing light, we have come back in order to share frequency with you, a frequency that each of you has now agreed to carry on this planet in order to change the DNA of the rearranged human race. This is a big story. The original planners are not about to lose their territory easily. Do you think they're going to give up so easily? The original planners set out to insert their own version of a plan to coincide with the time when the frequency of Earth would be altered, the time when the new owners would perish if they could not change their own frequency. It is now the intention of the Pleiadians and the humans who are connected to recreate the family of light bigger and brighter than ever before. So we suggest that you alter your consciousness to not feed these other beings that we call family of dark. Do not allow your energy to become their food source. Their food source on your planet now is whenever you have fear, or you experience anxiety, or there is chaos or depression. These emotions are their food, and they must be removed. You are coded, and as your memory begins to rise, you will respond to the plan with which you came here to participate to alter the frequencies. You will begin to hold, keep, and maintain a certain frequency of light, and then begin to live it and radiate it out to others. Identity as a frequency is the sum total of your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual bodies. The question is, what is the resonance of the frequency that you are broadcasting now, everywhere you go? That is what you are doing now, is tuning into that to see how you can continue to alter it for the greater good. As you have chosen to join this group of light workers, to hear this message, you are identified as a being whose memories are beginning to rise. The plan to change the frequency modulation affecting the human species entails the rebundling of your own DNA and of the light encoded filaments. Earth is assisting in its own way, and the evolution of the universe is helping us. The Earth is where things are happening, and it's the hot spot, the place to be. It's where the planet is beginning to blossom after eons of darkness. And what happens on Earth is going to affect many, many, many other worlds, more than you know. As members of the family of light, you agreed to come to Earth many times, in many costumes, many disguises, in many different human forms, in many different time frames to learn the ropes, to figure out the characters you were playing, and to become trained in these arts. You needed to experience Earth and to prepare yourself for the time when the frequency alteration would begin to occur, and you would all incarnate in large numbers, activating your DNA and bringing this plan into action. Understand your own growth affects the growth and the ascension of the planet. Your DNA will evolve from a helix of 2 to a helix of 12. These 12 strands of DNA correspond to the energy centers or chakras inside and outside of your body. Millions of you on the planet at this time are on assignment and have agreed to carry this frequency and accomplish this. Those beings are working closely with the epigeneticists of this planet, and they are the dolphins. They are the ones to assist you as the whales hold the frequency for an incredible evolutionary leap to occur. It's going to take place on an accelerated path over the next 20 years. There are those of you who have already received the realignment of the 12 strands of DNA, and the 12-stranded helix or avatar body is in place. These 12 spiral strands of DNA interact with one another in the body and outside of the body. The connection of the 12 strands means that the 12 energy centers can begin to function and send information back and forth to family of light. Traditionally, 7 of these centers are located in the body and 5 are located outside of the body. They're commonly known as your chakra centers and are aligned with the spinning of the 12 heavenly bodies that you know at this time within your solar system. Heavenly bodies that are vibrating as you recognize them in 3D. These 12 heavenly bodies are spinning with information, and they contribute to your chakra systems that go in and out of the universe through their alignments and time travel tunnels. They spin the DNA within your body. It is done through the gravitational forces and the light encoded filaments. When human DNA begins to rebundle as a 12-strand helix system and all comes online, there will be an incredible power to each individual. Simply by coming together and joining their intention for what they want, jointly, you will become a telepathic receptacle for the energies coming from all over the cosmos. You will receive them, you will integrate them, you will use them, and the face of the universe will change. This rebundling process of your DNA is important. Once you realize it and you're able to take the energy into your body, you will be able to integrate your 12 centers of information. You will begin to understand that as you create your own experiences, and you will learn it to become conscious creators. The dolphins are the teachers for this, whether they're in the physical oceans or they're in the etheric in their light bodies. They will assist you. More importantly than that, you will become conscious remembers of Earth and who you really are. As your 10th, 11th, and 12th chakras grow and begin to open, many off-world energies will appear in your lives that you cannot see right now. These energies will occur on this planet as more and more of you hold the higher frequencies. The 10th chakra connects with the solar system, the 11th with the galaxy, and the 12th with your place in the universe and your personal connection to Prime Creator. As you hold these frequencies, you will bring information onto the planet that will astound and shock most of the world. There will be a merging of identities, a merging of cultures, an infusion of many new world orders, and there will be much chaos and confusion. As members of Family of Light, you can begin to see your part in this. You can simply observe, or you can dive in and use it, knowing that chaos and confusion must come to break down so the old systems can be rebuilt with light. Conscious creators create conscious things, and the members of Family of Light, you can understand that there is an evolutionary process taking place, that those of you who can handle the changing frequencies are dearly needed. Earth is an exciting place to be. It's a good plan. We are grateful that you are here, and we wish to stay connected. We are the benevolent Family of Light who are Pleiadians. Namaste. So, good news, right? And how many of us can look around right now and see this happening? Is what we would call Family of Dark is being exposed, arrested even, and put away. So, how you feel? Yeah, it's a lot of information. I know I've been accused of putting too much in one class, but if you go back, and listen to the replay, take some notes. It's my intention to keep doing this work with Seth. Maybe another course like this after the retreat we see happening in Colorado Springs in July, in August. She really is, Seth being the oversoul, a master of cosmology, and it's kind of fun to go back and see. We've even made some beautiful PowerPoints on how the planets were created and why they were put in a particular order and who's ascended first, and the focus, of course, being on Earth, being the last to ascend, and what we have yet to do to complete that mission. I'll let you take a look. You want to say hi?
Do you plan on writing a book on all of this?
I should be writing books. Thank you. Yeah, keep telling you. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
More than one book? Yeah. Just one. She's saying, I love you all.
Sweet.
She's so sweet.
Oh.
She is so sweet. But she's
Sweet.
also, in her sweetness, so very powerful. So, yeah. Nice. Well, we love you all. If you have any final parting words, we're pretty much right on schedule. Imagine that. Ed, what's up?
Kind of blown away. I got messages from.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, good. Would you mind just saying a few words about the Colorado Springs retreat and what sort of things?
Absolutely. Yeah, let's do a commercial break. Coming right up. Be really fun. Of course, yeah. There's a commercial for developing your intuition class. This is going to be in June, 4 weeks. So if you want to work with your ability to hear, I'm sure it will also develop your ability to feel and see, but are really going to focus on telepathy and clairaudience. That's coming up starting on Thursday, June 18th. You don't have to be present. Of course, we hope you would be. Animal communications classes, 2 of them coming up. Also interspecies communication between who the cats are, who the dogs are, who the horses are, who the dolphins are, more about their purpose on the planet. And the first class is about your personal animals, though. You get to bring in your own animals to talk to. Okay, here we go. Awakening Divine Reality. This is Judith Moore. In my world, I don't like to be competitive in any way, but she is the best channel I've ever experienced, ever. And Reiki would be right there along with her, but she channels for the planet, and also an aspect of Mary Magdalene. She's so dedicated. She's been a mentor for me since I started doing retreats. And she's the one that gave the testimonial about my part in the whale work that I'm doing. So I'll let you see that if you like. Reiki is an aspect of Lord Sananda. He won't tell you that, but he is. Oh, if you ask him, he will, but he's very humble. You'd have to be to carry that energy. He was born with the ability to bring people back to life. spent a lot of time in hospitals, as you can imagine, at accident sites where he's guided to go. He's also an inventor. We're going to where his home is, and I'm sure at one point we'll get to see some of his incredible inventions. One of them is like a spinning star tetrahedron, and you hold onto these rods and you just get taken out into the galaxy. It's so cool. So he's in Colorado Springs right now because he's working with the sacred energies of Garden of the Gods and of Pikes Peak. So he gets guided to go around the planet and do different things where the pyramids that are natural are illuminated. So there's a lot of information here. Click this, you can explore it on our site. And we each have given, sorry, there's some pictures there. One day is a trip to Garden of the Gods with channeling, earth ceremony. You will all participate, water blessings and so forth. One day is a trip to the top of Pikes Peak. And again, more channeling. And one day is a wisdom teaching class will be held at like a conference room indoors, but we'll be doing a lot of channeling then. That's on the 25th. Yeah. Garden of the Gods is the 24th. Pikes Peak's the 26th. So it's very affordable, mostly because, we just want people to come back together to get over this pandemic thing. And there's no fear now. I have the keys to the kingdom with the coronavirus healing. Nobody has to have any fear anymore over it. It's a part of our past as far as I'm concerned. If you want to read about our personal, where is it? We've all written quite a bit about what we're going to do. I'm looking for that. I don't see it. Pretty bad when you can't find it on your own website. You must be missing it. Well, I guess I was supposed to find that out today. I'm going to fix it. Give me a day. I'll make it a click. Anyway, we each have written about the different things we're going to do if that interests you.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. You guys can come. We've been looking at Airbnb homes, and we found a few already, so we can recommend places to stay that are not hotels if that's what you want. Some of them, have more than one. I mean, you guys have traveled with me know. I mean, we usually get some big houses and people can rent bedrooms and so forth. You can always, I don't think the hotels are open yet, but I'm hearing they will be. So if you'd rather go to a hotel. And if you want to share space or travel with other people, let me know. Email me.
You mentioned that really it's about, you said channeling, but it's really about the three of you channeling, not, the people who come to.
Well, if you're there and you end up channeling, we'll listen. I mean, sometimes people.
But it's not about like personal, like we do in class, like our own exercises.
Like teaching channeling? No. It's about the earth. It's about awakening that part of ourselves that's very much a part of what we just did today, about understanding your place in the cosmos and why you came to the earth, and awakening that part of you that's going to be a part of the new earth, so we can go forth and be great leaders, and participate in great things and have the confidence to do it. It's also about building soul family. When you meet a group of people that come to a retreat like that, you're going to know them your whole life. I mean, unless you choose not to. I can't imagine why you would, though. We all become friends, Every retreat I've ever done is a circle of friends later. Who can attest to that? I think Lynn, right? Is that true, Lynn? Yeah. It's been on different retreats with me. We all become very close and end up sharing our lives after that, And the soul family grows stronger because of it. In class too. I'm not saying that you guys aren't going to connect, but because we're spending time together, really quality time. Anybody else?
Hi, Lori. Irene, I have a quick question.
Sure.
You mentioned earlier about the first experiment that Cryon talks about, the seeding of humanity by the Pleiadians. Can you just speak real briefly about what happened there, and then how then we got into this other experiment that we just did today with the 12?
Well, what the last channel was about, what you're asking. It's about, there's family of light, family of dark, Pleiadians being brothers and sisters watching over the planet, giving of their DNA first. That happened first. And then watching, these other reptilian races and Anunnaki and, many Draconians there's been many times that the Earth has been invaded. Even going further back than that, to the time when the Earth was almost destroyed and the whales had to move from being land beings to water beings. The Earth has been under attack in various forms for a long time. It's not to frighten you, but the place of duality that was created when we fell from 5D, which was Lemuria, is where we've been climbing back out. And so when the 12 races came together, again, like 200,000 years ago, and restranded us, we have a real, I believe with every fiber of my being, we're going to do it now. I don't believe there's another force, and Seth would agree with me, there's no dark force can come now and destroy the planet. It's not possible. And we're protected by the Galactic Federation. We have proven ourselves to the other races that have helped us in our use of the violet flame. There is enough consciousness on the planet now to warrant the ascension. It just isn't there yet. We still have more work to do. And the Pleiadians are going to match us every step of the way. They can't do it for us, but they can help us. Is that helpful? I'm not sure exactly.
Yeah. One
Okay.
little question. So the first human, the Pleiadians gave their DNA. Were there any other star?
Oh, there were many, many, many. The Earth has been destroyed 8 times and started over. You're talking cosmology now, but we're focused on the here and now more. Sure, there's been lots of experiments and lots of failed Earths where we were destroyed. You don't read about that because they don't want you to. They don't want you to know that.
Okay, thank you.
Judith's book that would help you would be A New Formula for Creation. She's written a lot of books, but that one, and she's also written on crop circles, and obviously both of us have had a lot of extraterrestrial contact and help. Judith is Arcturian. Amazing Arcturian. The whole Sananda family is. So, Reiki and Judith both being Arcturian. And prior to that, very powerful angels. So, okay. Oh, I know. I was going to do one more thing. It's kind of hard to be my own cheerleader, but sometimes it's a good idea. Well, otherwise how would you know, right? I don't know. I'm getting better with standing up for myself. It's easier to stand behind Kuda. Let me show you what she said. She really made me cry. It was so sweet. Okay, so this is the coronavirus stuff we're doing. We're doing one tomorrow if you're interested, if you haven't experienced it yet. You have a complete immunity from the coronavirus in multidimensional, quantum levels after working with it, provided you keep your vibration high. Okay, so here's what Judith said. Can you guys read that on your own?
Could you read it out loud, Laurie?
Okay, all right. Dear Laurie, I awoke this morning with the awareness that you carry the primordial code in the whale DNA for the vitality of life to heal the distortions in the coronavirus that is attacking the life force energy on a molecular level. You have engaged with a miraculous power with the realms of the dimensions of light in creation. The whales have given you the key to unlock the DNA of vital life force energy on a molecular level. You are a great white whale. You are a whale master. I have been guided to send you this message. I feel it will affirm many of the energies you are working with and are working through for you for the manifestation of the miracle to heal the pandemic. Blessings, Judith. So, kind of a nice testimonial, huh?
Very.
I know. So,
Laurie,
I would love everybody to have the chance to work with Judith.
Wonderful.
Spends a lot of her time in Europe, so we're pretty excited about getting her to come to Colorado. So. All right, everyone. I want you to feel the big hug from your star family, and I want you to get motivated to keep talking to them and to sharing and, to being a card-carrying member of Family of Light. So let's move into
Can
our
I
heart.
just say,
Sorry?
can I just say
Go ahead.
from the deepest part of my heart to you, Laurie, Master Cat Puda knows how to acknowledge himself, but I just want to tell you that I acknowledge you for all that you are and all that you do, and thank you deeply, in deep appreciation and love, Laurie. Thank you.
Thank you, Mafalda. I appreciate that. Very sweet. Thank you. All right. So let's close the space, and then you can watch for the replay. It will be, depending on Webmaster, Monday's a holiday, so might be Tuesday, but hopefully before then you'll get a, an email. Okay. So from our hearts, thank you, Mother, Father, God. Thank you, Star Family. Thank you, guides and angels. Thank you, Seth. And thank you to each of you for opening your heart to this marvelous, journey of remembrance of who we really are. And may we move out of all, destructive or harmful 3D experiences into just love. Just be love. Love is the answer. Will always be the solution energy that you're seeking. And know that you are never alone. So we close the sacred space with reverence and honor and humility, most importantly, gratitude for everything and everyone and all life everywhere. Namaste. Our sacred space is closed. Blessings.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Love to all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right, you guys, get some good rest.
Thanks, Laurie.
Welcome.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Everyone.
Bye.